With that, we are once again live. Welcome back to another stream of Buddha and Zionics playing games poorly. Tonight, we got a special treat for you. We're gonna cheat.
We're gonna take advantage of what they have as the norm inside of the said video game.
Yeah, it's
But
totally okay.
Zynox is gonna hit second place. I'm gonna hit third place. You know, that's ultimately gonna be the final bout of this. But you know, whatever.
Yeah, but right now, since we're both at the same score, we can have ourselves a good old-fashioned actual run.
続いてくれるかい
ついていく
ちゃんと後から来てくれよ俺も行くぞ
So right now, we're playing what's called expulsion mode.
Of course, it's your Zynox.
So you're a little quiet, Buddha.
How about now?
That's better. Yeah, I'm gonna need to turn down the game volume a bit, but it's kind of locked right now.
Participant right now.
That's where you were gonna win the last one.
Yeah. But then the game was like, oh wait a minute, there's a Zyonics in here. Well, of course we gotta give it to him.
That isn't always how it works out.
Of course not. Every once in a while it has to shake it up a bit and be like, okay, let's let the other loser win every once in a while. He's adorable. He keeps trying, even though he knows that the game's against him. I mean, we gotta give him at least one.
Just like Spider-Man.
What? Cheating game.
Yeah, the odds of me getting over there before you clear those is negligible.
Oh, look at the Sonic says otherwise.
Well, I'm not going that way, so... I'm sacrificing those for optimal position on the next one.
What kind of garbage is this? I mean, I could swear that I'm running around with, you know, perfected Ultimate Blade 9-star along with, oh no, it took my shit away apparently. That's
Yeah,
why.
you're using basic gear, dude.
I thought it let us keep the gear on this one. It was just that we didn't get to keep all our skills.
Now, this one is, we get a set of gear and a set of skills. Oh, fucking hell.
I don't know, you still got a solid lead on my dumbass. Whatever. When the game tells you to fuck off, you just kinda gotta fuck off.
That is true. Sometimes the game hates you.
I'm sorry, you're using Zionic's perspective. Game always hates you. Well, always hates not you, I should say.
I don't know, I still remember that one time, that very first multiplayer stuff thing we did. You fucking spanked me all 3 games in a row. And that was on stream.
Uh-huh. It looks like the game's been keeping track of it. It's like, okay, I mean, we gave the other guy too many wins. We got to make it up to Zyx because he's the one that really matters. So that puts you at 7, right?
Yep.
ちゃんと後から来てくれよ。同行しよう。
So that internet historian thing you sent me about the rating of Area 51,
Yeah.
that was fucking hilarious. I saw that, I went, damn it, Buddha knows I can't just blow a half hour, 45 minutes at work like this. Well, goddamn, if I didn't blow a half hour, 45 minutes at work on that.
And that was one of those where it's like, okay, I don't know if he's going to be able to watch it right now. Like, you know what? It's going to be there. Because who doesn't want to know about the Naruto raid of Area 51?
That was fucking amazing.
You know the thing that actually really blew my mind, though? Is the fact that they did a intelligence breakdown of this is what the Naruto run is. This is how it works. And they had fucking demonstrations with it. I mean, I know the military is dumb, but Jesus, that was amazing.
That part at the very end where like the gal just walks onto the base. Just like, oh.
And she was arrested, and she was fine.
She was charged with trespassing.
Like that saying goes, you know, reality's stranger than fiction. That was some strange shit. What the cheating shit was that? No, I still want to know who the brilliant. I mean, I know the guy who set it up now, but like, who was saying? No, actually, I think it was the same guy. He's like, Naruto run. You can totally run out or outrun bullets. Really?
Well, okay then. I guess I'll just stay right here. All right, that was a handy. Oh, fuck! I did all the work on that one too. Damn it!
Work, sure.
Yeah, this one's all about getting your Ensign Rickies to do the work for you.
That was not based on Ensign Ricky's.
Well, I'm just saying, I think this game mode is.
Looks like I'm gonna only have to win through a hand me. Stop cheating! Now, I understand trying to equalize equipment and whatnot, but god damn it, that doesn't fuck with you where it's like, oh, you know how you're used to having, you know, be able to launch across the map based on gas and or anchor range? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Nope.
we don't care about that. We're gonna cut that down to like a 10th. What?
You get 35 anchor range. What?
That puts you at what, 8?
Yeah, I should be at 8 now.
I get it. Give me. See, it tells me Perfected Blade Ultimate Blazing Axle Crescent Gear 2. And it's not telling me I can change this shit, or am I looking at...
Yeah, no, mine says I have Explosive Sky Splitter, Blazing Axle, Blazing Machinery.
So this is all bullshit then, whatever. God damn it.
But when you go into the
Yeah,
the
no,
skill
I've gone through all
selection,
the menus. It's
your
not
general
there.
type is 3rd generation blade Mark III, 3rd generation blade, you know. And general type has no skills.
But where do you go for that?
Alright, so go to skill selection.
Yeah.
No. In the main menu. Get out of your menu. Go to skills, push X, go to skill selection.
I pressed X earlier. Whatever. Thank you. I thought I did that earlier, but apparently I was a Tuesday. Well, I was a Friday. I was gonna say Tuesday.
It could be a Tuesday too.
I mean, they're. It's not like they're
Mutually
exclusive
exclusive, yeah.
頼むぜ
ついていく
続いてくれるかい私も行こう
Wow, that's some funky gear you got there.
It is super amazing here. All the gear is shit, actually, but you know.
あんたなら余裕だろ
Run
俺も
with
行
it.
くぞ 相手してやるか
Ow! Took a titan on my ass. Where'd that D go? And a bunch of D's over here. Triple D's over here.
一緒に行くよ
How did we survive with such weak equipment? I mean, I know I never used this piece of equipment, but still. It's pathetic.
あんたなら余裕だろ
This is what it's like to be poor.
Well, that might be a perfectly viable strategy for this game now. Well, so the first thing I did was go get 4Ds.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going after the Bizarre Titans.
I don't think it would be the best strategy.
Well, and just try and, you know, shit out. You know.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like one of the last times we played, and I still every once in a while try out the whole setting up a lot of towers and what have you early on, especially since there are times where it's like, hey, look over there, Psyonix gets a hand show because the whatever secure point, rescue point or what have you is
Yeah.
right next to him, and it's like, well, if it's next to him, I'm not gonna waste my goddamn time.
Yeah. Well, and that didn't work out quite so well since, like, I got more points for Ymir than I did for Annie on that one. But the thing is, dropping a Bazaar gives you almost as many points as killing a full pack of those,
Rescue Titans or what have you.
yeah.
I think you go for a rescue, yeah.
あんたなら余裕だろう聞くかね
Your joint type.
Damn straight. Taking on Titans while sober. I'd rather be high, baby.
Alright, let's go. Let's drop this music down a smidge. It's a bit loud in my ears, at least. I feel like it's
Yeah,
drowning
you're
you
in
out.
second
So,
place at 8, and I'm at third place at 7.
as long as that doesn't change, then we should be fine. The only one likely to pitch a fit would be Eruvan, but I didn't dethrone him, and 40 should be fine. So you were saying catching on Inferno gives you those colossal crystals, right?
On certain maps and territory, yes.
Gotcha. Alright, so...
No, correction. Catching for the rankings, the capture. If you look at that, you get 50
yeah.
Colossal Titan crystals. If for first place, 40 for second, 30 for... So, yeah, I'm gonna be doing a shit ton of capturing. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to get over 1,000, tonight. Oh, I will if I want to.
また来てくれよな
And so I need 33 of those colossals.
And I have no idea how many I need particularly. But
So
I need a ton.
33 I would require second place for 33.
Yeah.
So we
So
would
you're
have
gonna
to
have
put
to-
in some motherfucking time here.
Which, if we're just doing a bunch of hard mode, I'm totally gonna be doing.
Well, I do want to do the dailies. The fact is getting those getting those motherfucking golden drops. That's like the best way for us to power up right now. So dailies is
今日も頑張ろう
a good idea.
何か食い物は
So, and since we're not up to 8-star hard or 8-star nightmare, that means we're doing 8-star hard. I mean, we could do territory recovery mode on hard. I don't know if that's going to...
Really.
Hmm?
I say it wouldn't really matter if we do the territory mode on hard.
Well, we don't know what the rewards are for doing it on hard, since there is no hard difficulty. Where... If we're... Well, no, I mean, there's only a handful of 8-star hards in there, so...
Yeah. Well, to be fair, we don't have to exactly limit ourselves to 8, but, you know.
No, we don't.
I was just glad that I finally got some large and gigantic red hot crystals, so I'm done with that horse shit now. It's all down to the gigantic aspect.
Yeah, so I have a defend the mining base, 8-star hard difficulty. Oh, fuck, this is 9-star, so...
Yeah. As long as we do 8-star above 5 times, that should get us everything.
Yeah. Room's up.
I was finally able to make my goddamn sky splitter explosive blade.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure what I did to get mine so much earlier than you. But like I just started working on it just because it was like, yeah, no, I would like to have this, and then I got all the way up. It's like, oh well, fuck me. I guess this is my new sword. You know, I didn't realize I had gotten all the mats.
But yeah, no, I've worked. I am now trying to work up to complete um the Tiger Zero Blade, the Solar Sword, and Perfected Ultimate and Explosive Sky Splitter.
Yeah, no.
So I'm hitting what I believe to be the primaries.
Well, now I still need to go through and do a Crescent Gear 2 max out. That's probably the next thing I'm gonna max out. And I got all my guns up to just below perfected. So as soon as it,
Yeah.
but that requires those those big sinew crystals, and I don't know where the fuck you get those outside of buying them from the shop.
Well, you go back to the speed I'm used to. Going for Sasha.
Yeah, I saw.
Attached to things from a distance. Have the burst and real speed that I'm used to.
ここを舞台にするよ。カシャ、あんたなら余裕だろ。
任されました。
やるしかねえだろ。相手してやるか。俺としたことが救援感謝する。
I'll just kidding. I need work on those anyways.
上官の食料庫からもらえますか。
エルノさん、お願いします。やったな。了解だ。演壇のもとへ急げ。助けを求めてる。
Large abnormals come flying in from afar. Good for them.
Oh, so have you finished Attack on Titan then?
No. I'm almost done with season 3.
Oh, I thought you said you were already a chunk of the way through season 4. My bad.
Well, I've seen the first.
Oh, I know you've seen it. I just thought that's where you were at your current season.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it's still been. The one nice thing about doing these missions on hard mode
上官の食料庫
is this is going to give me a bunch of friendship conversations on the regular story mode.
Nah. Kids. Nobody likes you. I mean, I kind of like you because of territory. But outside of that, nobody.
Territory is all well and good, but
Well, I'm just saying the ability he unlocks being territory
yeah.
is amazing. Outside of that, you can go pound sand.
戦の演弾を確認しました。
There are a lot of critters. Oh, hot. Damn, this is an amazing number of critters. Let's go save Zachary before he gets himself into trouble.
任されました。
And just so you know, in a supreme lack of imagination, I also named my regiment the Returners.
Lame. I came up with it first.
You did. But it was very, very good, so.
I was gonna say it's just so appropriate with the whole Saban and Edgar Figaro build. It's like,
Yeah.
it has to be the return. Besides, calling it the Figaro regiment or whatever would just be lame.
拠点を頼むぜ。やってやるよ。
You know, actually, if I had to go for the second one, even though I don't think the game would allow it, maybe Phantom's bitches would have worked too.
相手してやるか。よーしよくやった。貴様の手柄は記録しておくぞ。決済しろ。エルモさん、お願いしますね。タオルス、そうチェック頼む。やってやるよ。
Oh, he. Quit your belly aching and go into stun mode.
Am I the only one who gets a little bit of fun from using something like Genki or Sasha to capture a Titan or a boss Titan? Oh, apparently I'm got knocked out. Help! Help! Apparently I'm dumb.
Alright, be right there.
You know, you'd think I'd be able to use Sasha to heal me or some shit, but you know, no, apparently not. You know, I'm actually getting really annoyed because if I'm gonna have to check again, but I should have back from the brink, which gives me one free death.
Yeah, I do have back from the brink, I believe.
Well, apparently game doesn't think I do. So.
やるしかねえだろ。サシャ、あんたなら余裕だろ。
やります。
相手してやるか。
No, I had one more.
What can I say? I was angry at the armored Titan. It's like, no, you don't get to knock me down. That's some bullshit.
He was not amused by your shenanigans.
Oh, that was 2 pages plus 1 of captures. You know, I have to admit that's one of those little tidbits that I'm always a little torn on. It's like, so what maps are better to put down the manufacturing towers, and what maps are better to just start slamming down supply towers? I mean, you still want to put down a few garrisons at least, but
Yeah, you need garrisons to keep your tower supply up. So, generally speaking, for me, it's like, well, the first two gotta be garrison.
yeah.
Unless I fuck up. Which I fuck up on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah, shit happens.
救援要請を確認した。援護に向かう。
Oh,
Alright. I guess I'll take the back way.
I'm seeing a bunch of sparklies on the map. I have no idea where they're at. Oh, no.
やってやるよ。
厳しそうだ。
立ててくれるか。
Yeah. So.
あそこを守ってちょうだい。
You know, actually, that's one of the great things, I guess, about this or playing on this high difficulty.
Yeah.
Only thing I'm missing out on is one 3-meter or one 3-meter abnormal, and the rest are 15-meter normals. So, capture, kill everything, because thus far, just about every damn thing is abnormal.
大変凶暴そうな巨人様のお出ましだぜ。
Yeah. No. I'm still missing, yeah, so I'm missing, I think, 1 7-meter abnormal, maybe 2. Ah, damn it, Ymir, go away! I'm just gonna put this Ymir down.
さあ守って。
Maybe.
I wish there was a way to cancel out Titan mode.
That would be super nifty, wouldn't it?
Yeah, okay. I'm taking care of this little horde. Let's put down our exit Titan mode. No, no, no. You got another 20 seconds. I don't care about the 20 seconds. Let me step. No, no. You have another 20 fucking seconds. And take it. I don't want it.
助けに行った方がいいね。
You will take your 20 seconds and enjoy it. Oh, fuck me, I missed a Titan.
あんた本当優秀なんだ。
I don't think that's the way that
しよう
saying
とは
goes.
思わないけど。
I'm not 100% sure how I managed that.
Oh, you're not gonna have to worry about it, but apparently I was wrong. I guess the anime I've been talking about, it's called Rise of the Shield Hero.
Yeah, no, I've been seeing actually articles about it show up in my news feed.
Well, it's because the next season's coming out this week.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of the reason why I'm actually, some of the sites that I've gone to, and it's like animes you should watch and what have you. Shield Hero was one, and the fact that it was coming out recently because I watched it like a month ago or something like that. And,
凶暴
yeah,
な感じだね。
you know what I've already said about it, so I don't want to say anything
Yeah,
more.
no, you're fine.
But yeah, no, it's the next season's coming out, and so that's why I'm rewatching it right now. And I mean, I still remember it well enough. The story hasn't changed, obviously. And, nothing else.
Alright. Done the final boss. Hitch, no!
And Ymir, but who cares about Ymir?
飛行。
I believe that's it.
But no, like I was saying earlier, when it comes to it.
Alright, Dyer's up, Dyer's up.
Oh! Run away! You've caught everything except for the,
I have caught all the Bazaars.
well, I was gonna say except for that one. The caravan's the only thing that's coming to mind right now.
Cart Titan.
Mule Titan. Huh?
Yeah, no, I've caught all the Bazaars. She's immune to targeting. Run! I'm gonna take a piss. Be right back.
No, I have to admit though, I've come up with some, I'm assuming very inappropriate jokes based off of off of the Shield Hero anime. Uh, so slight spoiler. I'm assuming I'm gonna have you watch this eventually, but slight spoiler. So, and I believe it's the second episode. Uh, the main character ends up buying a slave to help him out, and the slave has this circle on her chest that guarantees obedience and what have you. And this time around, my brain was like, "Wow, isn't that amazing? Imagine, or isn't that amazing in a fantasy world? There's a ring that can be given to a woman that guarantees loyalty. Sadly, it's only a fantasy, so that doesn't exist anywhere else."
We're gonna have one of those.
I'm just like I said, it was just a joke that came to mind. It was like, yeah, it's applicable, it's accurate, and it's totally offensive.
I don't think we've quite crossed the line yet.
No. It's the only one that I'm thinking about sharing, but it is one that's been bouncing around in my empty noodle of a head where it's just like, yeah.
Don't worry, Chad. It'll get worse.
Come on, there once was a truth that came to me, and the truth of it came in the form of a ring.
Ow! I got stuck in the stables. Oh, thank God we caught that on stream. Mina! I don't know who you are, but I will save you!
You don't remember Mina? She was totally the chick who was sort of the same time as Thomas. I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck is Thomas? And the only thing you can say about Thomas is he was blonde. Blonde?
Like, Surfer Boy blonde?
Quoting a movie. Quoting a movie. You know, maybe we should have kept our beards. Made us look like Jesus. I wish it. I was about to say Attack on Titan. I wish Boondock Saints 2 was better.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still pretty good, considering what it was. But there is not going to be a third one. Well, there might be a third one, especially since now, and I guess it'll still be about the only time I'm going to bring it up tonight, since Will Smith totally, well, at least in the short term, is persona non grata.
Why would that make enough impact on whether or not there's a Boondock Saints 3?
Because apparently they were planning on making a Bad Boys 4, which I totally didn't expect was happening. Especially since Bad Boys 3 was actually quite horrible. I mean, I love the Bad Boys series, but 3 was not good. And it's like, you know what? Maybe they're going to be like, hey, we need another action movie or what have you. It's like, okay, good. Go for a Boondock Saints. Boondock Saints is something that would be good to have a third one of.
So you're saying because Will Smith is,
well, part of
persona non grata, that we're going to get a different action movie that may or may not be Boondock Saints.
Yes. because and that's my reason. Because the one that I use as a bit of a foundation for this is, remember, you had like that 1 year where there was like 3 Hercules movies that came out in 1 year, and they came out like a month or 2 apart from each other.
Yeah.
So I use that as a bit of a foundational logic behind what I just said. The Rock one was the best, even though now I don't particularly care for The Rock. I'm a little upset because of what he did after the whole Alec Baldwin, you know, being allegedly.
Okay, say that again?
So, you remember Alec Baldwin killed a cinematographer on Rust?
Yeah.
Well, after that came out, his defense became, oh, well, it's because our guns are bad, and guns shouldn't be allowed on movie sets. And The Rock, being the little bitch that he is, was like, yeah, I'm not gonna have guns on sets anymore. It's like, you do realize you've acted in a good chunk of movies that have guns in them, right?
Yeah. Not least of it, which is the Fast and the Furious garbage.
To be fair, I've never actually watched the Fast and the Furious with The Rock in it, but I did watch it. I forget what it was. The only reason I watched it is because it had Ryan Reynolds in it. It's something in Hobbs, Gibson Hobbs. I don't remember. But it had Ryan Reynolds
balls.
in it.
I triggered the final boss. My bad.
But yeah, no, it had Ryan Reynolds in it. You know what?
You mean
if
Dane
the movie
Cook?
has Ryan Reynolds in it, I'm gonna fucking watch it. It's just what it is.
I know how much you love Dane Cook.
That I do. Oh, did you ever watch The Adam Project?
No, I haven't gotten to it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not an amazing movie, especially since it has Mark Ruffalo in it. Fuck that dude. But, you know what?
Sounds like you enjoyed it.
No, yeah, you know that probably Anderson, right?
Sorry, I'm still having a hard time hearing you.
I mean, I can only move it so much closer to my mouth, dude.
It's just, there's a lot of cannons going off, and there's a lot of cutting going on, and...
I mean, there was a lot of shooting going on, but damn, somebody shot you in the
Yes.
ass. I wonder who that could have been.
Essentially, yes.
But, so... And this is... I mean, it's going to be slight spoiler for when you watch it, but ultimately the premise is I was about to say Dane Cook. Ryan Reynolds is the future self of the kid that you start to follow, or you start off following.
Okay.
And so when he comes back, there's certain things that show you it's the same person, but obviously it's sort of like a, oh, I wonder if it is the same person type thing going on.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And the kid following Ryan Reynolds around their house, as it were. Ryan Reynolds is like, "Why are you following me?" Because when I finally go in front of the judge and they ask me where the old man touched me, I need to be able to tell them what's going on. Wow, going dark. Oh, I started losing it at that. I'll let you go for the heal. I'll go the other direction. But yeah, no, that got me going quite good.
You're not defending your people, man.
I thought we were just executing the shit out of everything. Not bad.
Yeah, you got people following you.
They're not following me. If they were following me, they would be, following.
Maybe I'm not defending him. It's entirely possible. I do tend to play it fast and loose in the scouts. Scouts. I'm a loose cannon. I can't be trusted.
Yeah, that was another game on the, you know, option wheel, as it were. Is Borderlands 3. I still think the only reason why you don't care for Borderlands 2 is because of how many, how do I put this, Paragon points that I have, I guess.
It's just not as much fun as the other ones.
He has little dick issues when it comes to Borderlands 2. Especially with some of the complaints you have where it's like, you just know the game too well. It's like, I sense a disturbance in the force. No, don't want to play it anymore.
I'm not gonna lie. When I go exploring and you go towards the objective, it's a little disheartening because you're like, oh, I know they ain't shit there. Like,
I've saved some time. No, the one that gets me, like I was saying, is the whole Cult of the Vault thing, where you have to find like vault insignias all over the place.
yeah.
And I just remember the one little bit of time that I got you to play Borderlands 2. It's like, I think it's over. Oh, there it is. And you're just like, dear God. What? I looked it up. I remember.
Well,
Atomics was having none of that shit. He's like, I'm done playing now.
in my defense, for the state of keeping the record, I did play through Borderlands 2 and most of its DLC at least once.
That is true. Which is part of the reason why I thought I might be able to convince you to play through, you know, one more time. But you were like, no. No, sir. You are not welcome.
It's not my favorite Borderlands.
But, yeah, Borderlands 3 is an option.
Sort of. Because the problem with Borderlands 3, let's just say, it's the drive.
Huh?
The driving.
Oh.
The host has to drive. There's no other way around it.
I'm fine with you driving. I'm totally fine being Miss Daisy. You drive, I'll just sit back and shooty. Down with that. Why don't you drive?
I don't know. I just remember there being a serious enough lag issue for the joining person that we had to take turns.
I don't remember that particular issue personally, but I'm not gonna deny that's an issue because connectivity, it goes back to one of the games we both want to play is Salt and Sanctuary, and either A, I'm a straight up Friday, or B, because of whatever latency issue, all of a sudden my ability to counter is just off. So either A, it's latency, or B, I'm just not smart.
Well, and countering is important in that game.
Yeah, well, and that's where when we were giving it a go, it's like, okay, how do I counter? Or, well, no, I remember how to counter. It's just, do I have the timing for it? And I was just always fractionally off. And the fact that you weren't is like, okay, so I'm gonna lean on the aspect that shit is sideways at the moment, or the latency is the issue, instead of I'm just bad.
I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say you didn't play it by yourself to double check.
I did not. I mean, I guess I could and should.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you get comfortable countering without latency, you know, you can, reaffirm what the timing is. But I do think it's probably the latency, honestly. But
It is true.
right now you're trying to figure out the timing on variable timing. Like,
No,
the timing
you
isn't
are
going to be
100%
consistent.
correct, good sir. And I did not think about even trying that. So one more 8-star mission or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to admit, I didn't even think about doing that. I just sort of was like, okay, chances are we're not doing this, so I just didn't even go back.
No, and it's entirely possible we're not doing it until, we're in the same house again.
I don't care.
Skip.
You know, I wonder why Zeke is the only one that can transform people into Titans. And when did they find out that spinal fluid was the important aspect too?
巨人に勝つなんて無理なんじゃ。
Speaking of which, yet
Well,
again,
because Zeke is
spoiler.
part of the royal line.
But I figured it was part of the Beast Titan aspect, not the Royal Line aspect. But that's
No, it's the royal line.
You know, this will really get us in trouble. Why wouldn't you like? Okay, we have a confirmed Royal Line male or female. Why wouldn't you turn that into a straight up breeding bull or breeding cow? Like, we want more, and the more royal family line that we have that we can, turn into useful slaves and, titans, that would be a good thing for us, you would think.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of, we're clear. Triggering the colossal.
There is no colossal.
Yeah, there is.
Huh?
There's nothing else this could have been.
Yes. What were you saying prior to that, though?
So I think us as viewers know that Zeke is royal line, but I don't think,
Well, you don't think Zeke would tell them as he's turning in his parents, though?
yeah, but at the time he turned in his parents, he's a kid, like.
But that part of the reason why they were telling him was like, hey, you're part of the royal line. Well, actually, you watched it more recently than me. I assumed the whole royal line aspect was part of why they were indoctrinating him so early.
No, I don't think he knew he was part of the royal line necessarily. I think he just found out his parents were nutters and turned him in. And I don't think Zeke knew at the time he was royal.
Yeah, I always assumed that was because that was the whole. I remember when I still can't remember the father's name. When he was introduced to the chick, it was like, hey, she's part of the royal line. And after that came out, I figured that was something where it's like Zeke needs to know because he's part of the royal line. So I figured they were like, hey, you're a royal, and here's what you need to know because you're part of the possible, what's the word I want to use? What's they use that they used for the people who fought to free the slaves, as it were? There's a specific term. Huh?
Abolitionists?
No, not abolitionists.
I mean, that is what they were called.
Well,
but-
yeah, I know, but there was another term that was coming to mind that was for.
俺たちを守ってくれ
It's kind of going off of the what is it called, the Underground Railroad and whatnot. Like there was a term for those people, not railroad history or something.
君のような兵士が調査兵団
It
に
doesn't
いて
matter.
くれること
But he was
Conductors?
part of the huh?
Conductors?
Yeah. But he was part of that group, so I figured that they would.
俺が精鋭の戦い
But yeah, no, I always figured that that was part of it with Zeke, where it's like Eldians are bad, Marleans are good, and I'm part of the Royal Line, so if anyone's gonna stop it, I'm gonna have to be part of what stops it, which technically makes sense with the whole plan that he came up with. Well, he came up independently, I believe, from Aaron. Oh, and another slight spoiler with the final episode. Ultimately, the final episode explains how Aaron and some of these people ended up where they did at the beginning of season 4. So, it might actually be worth watching the final episode of season 4 and then going back to the first episode of season 4.
Well, that just
course
feels
it-
wrong.
It does, and I agree with you. Because there's very little that actually moves the story forward. It's ultimately, it starts off with Mikasa going, so how did Eren end up like this? And then it's all of a sudden her hopping back perspective-wise to when they were first leaving Paradise Island and, you know, seeing the outside world. And they're already having connections with the Asian, or the black guy and the Asian-looking chick who, I guess, is in control of the airship. And it's like, you're not even gonna explain this. You're just like, oh yeah, we've met you. Welcome to not Paradise Island. How are things going? It's like, are you shitting me? This is how you're doing the
Clear to
final
kill.
episode of the final season? No, there's too many random unknowns. It's kind of up there with what you were saying with, what is it, the intro to season 3, where it's like, hey, you know, I think all the other different Titans were previous or other forms of the Beast Titan, and to be fair, it's perfectly valid. I can't support or refute it. It's just like, eh,
Yeah.
it's a possibility. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, that should be it for our dailies. Welcome to 10 more skill points. Not sure what skills I want though.
Yeah. You know, one that I've actually becoming more interested in, you know, I'm taking it right now, is the mid-air first aid usage. There's been so many times where it's like, yeah, I want that.
Mid-air first aid, and it looks like I do not have... back from the brink.
Yeah, back from the brink makes it to where you get one free death.
Huh, I did not have that, so mid-air first aid, back from the brink.
Yeah, back
Sounds
from the
good.
brink. So, survive a single time without dying. Totally got cheated. Whatever. But yeah, no, they are totally locked into there has to be a movie or series of OVAs or something like that to
Oh, season 3 is confirmed for
finish.
2023.
Wait, what?
Or season 4, part 3 is confirmed for 2023.
Oh, go pound sand, you. Oh, go pound. Final means something. It's not a random word. If finals cut into two halves, fine. Can't complain about that. Oh no, there's a third
3 halves.
final half. All these words have meanings.
No, they don't.
Apparently not.
Your meanings are meaningless.
I mean, we all know that literally means figuratively. I mean, Rachel Maddow proved that in fucking court.
You're doing conversations, it looks like.
Yeah, I got a few.
Welcome to Attack on Titan, the
Dating
the
sim
dating
edition.
sim edition.
But yeah, no, there's just way too many questions. Where it's like, you're not gonna answer this with the. And yet again, slight spoiler that I shared with you on in Steam. Those Titans, because if I remember right, you know, if I have or if I don't, I'm really throwing in another spoiler there.
Yeah.
All the gigantic Titans that were making the walls were set free.
Yeah, the rumbling.
Yeah, and they swim very 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 fast. And yeah, I'm not even sure if the airship is gonna fucking matter at that point. Cause hey, look, we can find all the Titans from the air. We could travel quickly because we don't have to worry about terrain. They're not slow, like at all. Like if Paradise Island was Madagascar, those large or gigantic titans are going to be crushing about half of Africa by the time you yeah. Sorry, there was another spoiler in there that I didn't intend. So it's my bad, you know.
That's right. I was listening to conversations. I didn't hear any spoilers about how Paradise
That's
Island was
good.
on
Yeah, no,
Madagascar.
I just like so many issues. Where it's like, come on, people, come on.
まあああオルオンまたお前に協力を仰ぐ
That's right. I'm not too far behind.
No. Like the one thing I did spoil in there is minuscule enough that you're just gonna be like, oh, so that's what he was talking about. But no, it's. I mean, it's like a lot of animes where it's like, well, actually, it's like a lot of animes and books. It's like, come on, please, please, land this. I want a good ending. I want an enemy or an ending that I'm just sitting there going, fucking hell, that was intense. Like, I want something like a post-nut clarity that's just like, dear God, that was amazing. Not a, oh God, what the hell did I just do?
I feel dirty. You know what's gonna happen, right?
Disappointment.
Oh yeah, 100%. The ending cannot possibly live up to your expectations.
Well,
いらっしゃい
one thing I could say is I don't really have expectations at this point, because right now the biggest thing that threw a wrench into everything for me was the whole Attack Titan can converse with past selves.
Yeah.
In which
And I'm
case
reasonably sure every time Eren has a vision or something right before he wakes up,
た来てくれよ。
I'm
It-
almost certain that
future
is
self.
that's future self talking to past self.
And that's the thing that's just like, you know? Well, first off, they're gonna fuck that up. I mean, that's not even a question. That's not like oh, he totally no. It. I mean, we had this last Friday where it's like, how could you?
また来てくれよ。
And for me, the closest I can still get to is how I imagine yet again the whole Legacy of Kain series, where it's like, okay, ultimately, if you can come up with alternate reasons for why person did X, Y, or Z, you know, like certain key moments,
何が
then
Yeah.
you could actually make things run smoothly, but you have to justify key moments.
また来るがいい。
And that's one of those things like how, like, so one of the things I was thinking about a little bit later after the stream. So let us pretend we're playing in the timeline where Aaron is now manipulating the timeline. So
またいらっしゃい
Aaron
巨人なんて見た
somehow gets, or he had the attack Titan, but he realizes the importance of getting the founding
ま
Titan.
た来てくれよね。
So he goes back in time and psychologically manipulates his father to eat the founding Titan. Okay, you know that's possible. That could be relevant because there's only literally like one scene where Eren having the founding Titan is important. So you know, maybe not. And kind of like what you were saying though is, you know, maybe yet again saying this is, you know, a few or the altered timeline. Aaron goes, you know what? If I had Armin around, he was a super smart person. If I save him, then this will help. But the problem with that is then, how did Aaron survive inside of the wall without Armin doing that brave speech to the kits, saying, "No, he's humanity's greatest weapon" or some horseshit.
So the way he survived that, in my
Uh,
is Mikasa was there, and Mikasa could have gotten him over the wall.
But then he wouldn't be part of, you know, defending the wall aspect, or like, because you have to wait till Pixis gets there. If you don't wait till Pixis gets there, Aaron ultimately either
Who's to
would
say
die.
his first time through he stopped the Titans at Trost? The first time through, Trost could have fallen.
Yeah, and that is true. Trask could have fallen. He goes in with missing a leg or what have you, and then they're living. But no, because then if Trost,
No, Aaron has
No.
to transform in Trost. He has to.
Yeah.
And Mikasa has to get him out. And Reiner, Annie, and Bertold have to see it
yes,
in order
But-
for the attack on Trost to stop. Because that's what stops the attack,
yes,
is them wanting to get Aaron.
and
'Cause
I'm
at that
still not
point,
even
they don't
100%
know
sure why
Aaron
they
is
would
the
want Aaron
coordinate.
though. They
Well,
don't know Aaron's the coordinate at this point,
They
or the
don't.
found or had the. They just
they-
know he's the attack titan. In
Yeah.
which case, it's like, well, we're here to collect titans. It's kind of the same thing with them collecting Ymir, where it's like, well, they're titans, and we as good Eldians who support the Marleyans or whatever, we need to capture the attack and jaw titan because Eldians in paradise cannot be trusted to have these powers or what have you. I mean, maybe?
Essentially,
Okay,
yeah.
whatever.
Because they stop their attack before they know Aaron is the coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
So Aaron being the coordinate is irrelevant on whether or not Reiner, Annie, and Bertold stop their attack. They stop their attack because they go, oh fuck, that's the attack titan.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lead. They don't know Aaron is a coordinate, but Aaron is a lead that could lead to the coordinate. So they stop their attack because now they want Aaron. So Aaron plugging the hole in Trost doesn't mean that Wall Rose falls. Or
No,
Mario, whichever the second one is. They
Mario,
stop.
I think.
So just because Trost falls doesn't mean Maria falls. Because they stopped their attack before. They stopped their attack as soon as they saw Aaron. They're like, oh, fuck. Okay, this changes things.
Yeah.
You know. I'm still a little confused how the fuck Ymir got away after eating what's-its-bucket, but, you know, that's neither here nor there.
The only reason why I think she got away was more of a fear aspect. Well, not even a fear, as well, mixture of fear, but fear and surprise. Like, they're just sitting there camping. It's like, okay, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna break the wall, we're gonna kick some ass, and then we're gonna get the founding titan, the coordinate or whatever, because that's the one that we're all really afraid of. Then all of a sudden, a titan out of nowhere just comes out of the ground and just eats one. It's like, I mean, that you gotta. Let's just go back to the Boondocks quote. I can't believe that just fucking happened.
Yeah,
It's
and
pretty much where they're at, where they're like,
so are we gonna start some
Probably
Inferno
should've killed her.
missions, or are we doing some bookkeeping?
Hmm?
I'm just saying, should I start up an Inferno mission, or are we just doing bookkeeping real quick? Because
we can do some scout mission. Well, I'm assuming scout missions, or we can do some Inferno missions. Either or works. I mean, right now I'm just working on getting our up to. I can have whatever is the perfect
perfected ultimate
the
blade.
Kusanage or what have you.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well,
So
I don't want to start the story just yet. Just because I want to finish the story so we can start saving people and getting double S's. Because right now, I'm maybe a third of the way. No, not even a third. I'm not done with Trost yet.
I was gonna say I'm at the point now where where Michi gets eaten, or I'm one mission after that. I don't.
Yeah,
remember
and going through and doing all those missions where we can't save anybody yet, I feel like it's largely meaningless.
Well, I'm
So-
actually half tempted to try one of the Trost missions because I'm curious if we can save people on the first run. Because when you check out the when you check out the mission menu or what have you,
It's
it will
changed
actually
yeah.
yeah, it will actually tell you, change the future fate of Ian and Mitabi or whatever. So maybe you can do that on the first run if you're quick and efficient enough. But yeah, no, I don't know that for certain either.
I don't know. As far as I know, you can't do that until you beat the story. And with Inferno mode, we have to solo the story.
Yeah, which is
Done.
I-
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
So I'm just thinking we push.
I'm not gonna lie, like the whole Aaron be able to change the past, or slash change the future. Like, I mean, it's one of those little tidbits where it's like that's amazing, but they're totally gonna end up pounding sand on that. Like their ability to finish that off. Like I really can't think of a single, well, outside of maybe the original Back to the Future and the Legacy of Kain series, because Legacy of Kain I think does an amazing job. Are we doing Inferno mode, or are we just finishing off on hard mode?
This is Inferno.
Well, that's where I was asking. I wasn't sure if we were going to be working up hard mode or finishing off hard mode or not.
Oh, I think we're done with hard scout missions. I can double
Okay.
check though.
If you would, please. But yeah, no. And Legacy of Kain actually does it well in my mind, Because, I mean, I know you disagree with this, you know, philosophically, but it's like, you know what? Time is like a raging river. The things that we're doing that alters time, quote unquote, is like throwing a pebble into that raging river. Yes, there will be ripples. Yes, there'll be some effects, but ultimately, no, we've done nothing. Yeah, no, it looks like we've done everything.
Yeah, no, I just scrolled through it all. We
No,
we
no,
had
I watched you, and I agree. So yeah, let's do Inferno then. But and that's where I love it to where like they do things, and yes, it'll have like minor ripples in, you know, changing time, but by and large, the stream of time is just like, okay, aren't you adorable? There's a rock,
yeah.
there's a pebble, there's this, there's that. And so it like accepts that certain minor changes have happened, but by and large, you know, the direction of time, the events of time aren't gonna change. And that's why if you're gonna have certain key events happen that will change time, that's where the quote unquote soul reaver comes into play. Because this is something that is so powerful and so unique that it's like, okay, now we're actually going to have to divert what the intended future was because that's how powerful of an event or powerful of an item. Okay,
Yeah. So we only got A on this last time. So this is a replay.
got it.
戦闘を始めるぞ
I wish we could look up what the fuck's required.
Well, honestly, we probably just failed a mission.
Okay, so I'm being dumb, but I just learned the lesson.
As long as nobody died for you to learn that lesson, you should be okay.
It wasn't important, but there was a guy, or there was a Titan that was a normal Titan. It's like, okay, you know, I'll cut off a limb and I'll capture. Well, I did do it, but it took a lot longer than I thought it would. And for the look of it, I actually have the wrong swords equipped, which does. Oh!
What's wrong?
I'm running around with a 95-star first generation blade, if I'm not mistaken. You know, possibility, you know, stuff like that.
Alright, I guess I'll carry.
Yeah. I mean, it explains why I'm like, I mean, I'm doing damage, but
It's not very much.
I mean, the fact that I couldn't kill a 3-meter in one shot was like, what the hell is wrong?
Alarmo. Alarmo.
Yeah, straight up alarmo.
Alright, I should be okay to carry.
Check your equipment. Oh, random topical news that made me laugh.
Yeah?
So apparently, Kamala Harris has lost something like her, what was it, 11th staffer thus far. And you know, it's one of those things. I can't remember what it was. Obviously, I guess it was a couple months ago, where some of the more right-wing people that I listen to were talking about, you know, Joe Biden and what have you. And they're like, anyone else realize that it's only been a year since Joe Biden became president? And it feels like he should almost be out there, done with the presidency. And I have to admit, I really agree with that, where it's like, really? It's only been a fucking year?
No,
Like,
that's
I
cool.
thought we were on our second year or something like that. Nope, he has completed 1 year. That's goddamn depressing.
Yeah, he sure drove us into the dirt fucking hard.
Hard, fast, and without regrets.
80 million votes, guys. 80 million votes.
Most voted for president in history, next to Donald Trump, who had the second most votes in the exact same year.
This is why I don't trust democracy.
Democracy is bad because right the fuck now. Of course, no one's gonna listen to me because I am straight up in the Heinlein camp where it's like, you know what? I don't think as soon as you hit the age of 18, 19, whatever,
You automatically get the right to vote.
Yeah, you should have to earn the right to vote. And the thing that literally made me think this was when I looked at citizenship or naturalization or whatever it's supposed to be called, test for non-citizens. And when I looked at that and I went, you know what? I couldn't pass this. I shouldn't have the right to. Well, I was part of the military, so I argue that I earned the right to vote that way. But that's a side note. The multiple ways to become a person who can vote. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But the fact is I looked at that test and it's like, who's your senator? No clue. Who's your congressperson?
Mike Lee.
No clue.
Congressperson?
Who's your governor? No clue.
Oh, he just resigned. Who's the other one that took his place?
Honestly, actually, one of the things that comes to mind is it's when I was in basic, and we were having one of our first I don't remember the proper term, but we were having an officer go up and down the line to, you know, check out the unit, you know, ask
Yeah.
questions or whatnot. And he would be able to ask anything. Now, obviously, he knows it's a little more pro forma, so that the drill sergeants know who to, you know, are hit down on a little harder and what have you. And the question he asked me is, who was the Secretary of Defense? And I got in trouble because I was like, sir, I know his first name is Lee, but I do not remember his last name. He's like, what if I told you it was one of the colors on your uniform? Lee Brown, sir. It's Lee Brown. Very good, Private. Thank you, sir. Drill sergeant or they shift one person to the left, and drill sergeant just smiles at me. He's like, I don't have to hurt you now. I was like, thank you, drill sergeant. I don't want to be hurt. But yeah, no, when it comes down to it, it's just like, okay, can you name this in your state, in your county, in your whatever? And it's like, nope. Because I don't care enough. And guess what? While I have the right to vote, if it wasn't up to, you know, everyone voting, I probably wouldn't vote just because I still don't know enough. But you got a bunch of people, it's like, hey, you can vote. You should vote X because of Y. Okay, I'll vote X because Y sounds good. It's sort of like what was it? How many people could actually define what TPP was? And they found like only 20% could.
I'm sure I can define what TPP is.
It's the Trans-Pacific Trade Pact or something like that.
Oh,
But
TPP.
Yeah. What do you think I said?
You said TTP.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I don't know, some super absorbent toilet paper? Like,
Ah! gotta change my
Oh, you still have bullshit weapons? God
I
damn,
do.
I need to carry your ass again.
Yep. I told you to remind me, you useless Tuesday. Come on.
Alright, I'll go save Hades.
Let him save Marlo. I did good.
Yeah, but having bullshit weapons is a surefire way to make sure they die.
Like I said Marlo.
Hooray!
Let go of the Ricky. You know how amazing I'm gonna look once I don't have retarded weapons, though? I mean, Friday
Oi,
weapons.
oi, Friday, Friday!
This Friday had a brain fart, what can I say?
Well, alright, as long as you were being retarded, it's okay.
And the fact that the Democrats are now pretty much openly pro-pedo at this point. You know what they're trying to do in Florida? What? They're trying to make sure that teachers have to tell parents what students are telling them. Oh my goodness, how horrible of parents are they? What?
You know what they're doing in Florida? They're making it so you can't teach about, intersectionality before a child is 8.
Goddamn 3rd grade. Those are the most formative years that we need to inform them of this stuff.
They must know about intersectionality before puberty. It's just important.
I mean, give it to South Park, man. They made a joke about this years ago where it's like, so when should we teach sex ed? We need to start earlier, in kindergarten. But have the teachers do it because we're uncomfortable as parents talking about this to our children. What?
This is how you apply a condom.
Ah, Mr. Garrison, you are perfect in every horrible way.
That should be safe. There we go.
拠点を頼むぜ
ありがとうマルロ口だけじゃないんだね
当たり前だキッチン
Yeah. The only thing that's really concerning at this point is going to be eliminations. Making sure we get enough eliminations is I mean, because if you wait till I clear everything, that might be too long.
I mean, I'm slowly working on eliminations too.
I know you are. I'm just saying that.
And I'm adorable at it too.
Yeah.
Oh, you've killed one, I've killed 12. I've
You're
killed
trying
2.
so hard.
帰って邪魔しちゃったみたいで
お願いしますね
Alright, so we seem to be done with
No,
side
actually-
missions.
One thing that really made me laugh though was you had this gay man on, I want to say, MSNBC,
Fuck.
and he was talking about the whole Florida bill, and he's like, I don't know, now I feel so uncomfortable where it's like, can I talk to my students about how I went paddle boarding with my husband over the weekend? And first off, my brain was like, I don't think I ever had any of my teachers, mostly female, say this is what I did to with my husband or with my wife over the weekend. Don't think that's ever happened. Hey. Second, is paddleboard a euphemism? I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like Netflix and chill at this point. I mean, this sounds like Netflix and chill. It smells like Netflix and chill. But calling it
They must be
paddle
cuties.
boarding, like,
立ててくれるか
I would be uncomfortable if you told your kids that you watched cuties over the weekend.
I mean, they're liberal teachers. Why would they watch cuties? It's empowering or some nonsense.
なんとかしねえとやるしかねえだろ頼むぜ討伐成功わかるか相手してやるか
Triggering final boss. Hey, spawn!
やるじゃない
Or, okay, there it is. Or don't spawn. I didn't want you to actually spawn.
人類の恐ろしさ思い知れお願いしますね倒れた
Alright, this is probably enough. I'm gonna go for the kill.
頼むぜなんとかしねえとアンティゴさん任せなさい危険そうな巨人だ頼むぜやったな
Marlo, no!
撤退するしかない
Weapons, change weapons, change weapons, change.
Change weapons, change weapons, change weapons. Huh? Still pulled double S's. Buddha, you should change your weapons.
Once the loading's done. Once the other loading's done.
Once the third loading is done.
First generation blade. Plus 85. I mean, having a weapon that only did 240 damage. I think I was doing pretty good, actually.
Turns out, I was pretty good with that stick.
The ultimate duster.
Is your merchant negotiation skill still active? Or you just
No.
selling shit?
I'm just selling shit because I don't like seeing that thing pop up saying, you have too much.
It sells automatically.
Well, my brain don't like it. What can I say?
I haven't been getting that message. But I've been pretty aggressive with my selling, honestly.
Same here.
I don't keep
I am
anything
most-
more than about 300 of anything.
I was gonna say, I always try to go down to about 300 to 400. Of course, in situations like this, it's like, well, I don't have that, like, or the merchant negotiation bonus, so I don't want to go too hardcore, but... And I've already started selling up Crimson Drops, too.
Well, I mean, nothing wrong with that. You got a stable supply of them.
That is true.
I mean, Inferno mode from now until, or territory recovery mode is going to give you a shit ton of Crimson Drops.
Okay, so I have Explosive Sky Blitter, or Explosive Sky Splitter Gunblade, Blazing Axle, Crescent Gear 2, Palomino.
Palomo. God damn it, Palomo. Yeah, I got Blazing Axle and Blazing Machinery as well. And as soon as I get my Blazing Sword, I'm going to try it out and see if it's as broken as the internet says it is. Now that we're splitting responsibility here, I don't have to try quite so hard.
You know, I know I brought it up last time, or I should say. But going back, I keep thinking back to one of the things Tim Pool was saying. Like, you know what? When I was a kid, or when I was younger, I wish more people would pay attention to politics. Now that more people are paying attention to politics, I wish that they would go back to just talking about what Will Smith did at the Grammys, or not Grammys, Oscars or whatever it's called. I don't care about the award shows.
あの煙の色ってさ救援要請
And
だ
I agree with him. Guess what? I am way too ill-informed to really have an opinion when it comes to politics. Just politicians suck balls. That's all we really need to know as general notice.
Yeah, no. If you think the Democrats are after your best interest, then you're an idiot. If you think the Republicans are after your best, yeah, you're an idiot.
Yeah. No, actually, one of the things, and my sister is more left-leaning, and she's feminist. I was sitting there, and I remember I had a conversation with her. It's like, you know, I'm libertarian. What does that mean exactly? It means, you know what? I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't particularly care what you're gonna do. Just don't involve me. And the one thing that I did throw in there, which I think I covered about a month or so ago, is the whole abortion aspect, where it's like, you know what? I'm ultimately pro-death, but I do have to admit, the one argument that really sold me on not being pro-abortion was the whole, that fetus, that egg, whatever, as soon as it becomes fertilized, has unique DNA. It has its own, you know, blood type and what have you. Now, how the hell that works inside of a foreign body is still something that I don't understand. But you know what? It's its own unique DNA. And that was actually probably the best argument I've ever heard for the anti-abortion crowd. Everything else is usually garbage. But that one right there was like, yeah, no, if you could, it's its own unique DNA. That's something hard to be like, oh, who cares about unique DNA?
I don't, especially. I'm gonna take a leak.
Roger, roger. You know, actually, one of the bigger questions that comes to mind when it comes to the whole Attack on Titan aspect is he the last Attack Titan, or is there a future Attack Titan influencing him? Or I guess maybe there's some weird, like, understanding. Those who understand that the future can be manipulated don't manipulate the past of others. Like that's another one of those. It's kind of like the infinite regress argument when it comes to the religious people and what have you. Is it like that the possible ripple effects? I mean, we just have to think back to Red versus Blue, when Church all of a sudden gets thrown back in time, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, there's 1,000 different churches. Hey, you know, so what did you do? Oh, I just, you know, ran around and killed everybody. Why? I don't know. It just felt good.
No, in order for this to be stable, I feel like Aaron has to be the last.
And that's one of my first responses. The other one is,
戦闘を始めるぞ立ててくれるか言ってくれ救援要請を確認した援護に向かう
brain fart.
Because the thing is, if Aaron isn't the last, then everything he's done can be undone.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those, like, really weird things, because, like, let's pretend, you know, random things sort of kind of stay the same. All it would take is one LD and you know, actually, I guess that was what I was trying to say earlier, is ultimately what it is most people don't, I don't know, become talented enough with Attack Titan to figure out that they can alter the future. And honestly, that's one of
You mean the
alter
past?
But that's one of the big theories I was having when it came to Aaron's dad. Is while he had the Titan, he gave it to Aaron's dad, partially because, you know, fate, as it were, is ultimately set. And so Aaron ultimately was going to end up with the Attack Titan. He was going to be one of the ones who has the most influence with the Attack Titan. So he manipulated the guy who was supposed to execute Aaron's father to be like, okay, it's not like he was doing it because he was altruistic. He wasn't doing it because he was married to a royal or a Titan royal or what have you. He was doing it because Aaron ultimately influenced him to be like, hey, this is the person you need to give it to. But then that leads yet again to the question. So
Like,
if
how can
Aaron's
Aaron
father,
convince? Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like you have a circular dependency here.
yeah, and
How does
that's the problem,
Aaron's
like,
father, you know, get the Attack Titan if Aaron had to get the Titan to convince the person who gave it to Aaron's father? Like,
yeah, no, and
no,
that's part of the
you
problem.
asshole.
Oh, there was one more. Fuck.
There was the
My
Dyer.
apologies. Yeah, no, you're right. I totally spaced that. My apologies. Fuck.
Oh, neat.
My sincerest apologies. Fuck.
Huh. None of my controls are working. Oh, there we go. It timed out.
Hey, haha! That was awesome. I saved you the embarrassment.
No, I'm still. Controller's not doing shit.
Yeah, every once in a while I have to raise it up in the air, but I don't know if you're wireless like me or if you're wired.
No, I'm wired.
No, and that's the problem is, like, it's what I was talking about earlier. You need to have there has to be an impetus to something. And if the
Yeah.
impetus changes, you need to have a legitimate change to the impetus that everything will still make sense. And that's ultimately the problem is,
Yeah, no, I
you know,
feel like Aaron, in order for Aaron to affect the past, he has to have gotten the Attack Titan. So
yeah, well, yeah, he has to.
him affecting whether or not Grisha got the Attack Titan, I feel like is irrelevant. Like, he can't have had an impact on Grisha getting the Attack Titan. He can't. Because Grisha had to have gotten it before Aaron did.
Well, the thing that I'm thinking about, and this is just, you know, it is a soft random, is like, let's say maybe the guy who was going to give the Attack Titan to Grisha was maybe on the fence, like, okay, you know, I'm close to the end of my 13-year tenure, which still, well, definitely makes no sense now, I should say.
Yeah.
So I need to give it to somebody, and he's kind of sitting on the fence, giving it to Grisha. You know, maybe he just helps solidify. Like, it was going to happen, but there was like an uncertainty aspect to it. And then Aaron ultimately is like, no, you want to give it to Grisha. But that's does it really matter if Aaron helps settle an uncertainty factor?
Yeah, it does. Because if there's uncertainty, then there's a timeline where Aaron doesn't get it.
Yeah, but at that point, you just have to argue the multiverse perspective. Yeah, it's like I was bitching about last time. It just
Yeah, no,
people who
I feel like the person who gave it to Grisha had to have been set in stone. Grisha's getting it.
yeah. Well, and that's the big thing is it ultimately comes down to this: if Grisha doesn't get it, then
Aaron doesn't
none of
get
this
it.
happens. I think the only two real great factors that we can point to is A, Aaron having the founding Titan. And then the one thing you pointed out that was fascinating is, isn't it possible that Army was meant to die earlier? In which case, that was something that Aaron went, well, we have to change that. But then that leads to the question, how did Aaron survive the kid's stupidity? And like you said, you know, he could have ran away, and I guess it's quite possible that he ran away, and he never found out that Reiner and Bergholt were, well, and Annie technically
Yeah, we're back.
were. So if that happens,
Because without
like-
Armin, he doesn't learn about Annie. Without Annie, they
Yeah.
don't learn about Reiner and Bertolt. You know.
so him changing the arming as well. So, but and so here and that's like this is where it's almost like it's two converging timelines. Because A, he would have to know to save Armin, and B, then he decides the best results come from Grisha eating the founding Titan, the coordinate Titan. Because we know for a fact that he altered. Because if you look at it, Grisha was actually like, you know what? No, I can't do this. This is horrible. This would make me inhuman or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's Aaron whispering in his ear. And but here's the actual other part. Is Grisha, for one reason or another, knows enough about future Aaron, where when he's hugging Zeke, he's like, "You can't let him win." Which,
But at the same point, that happens before Grisha feeds himself to Aaron.
yeah,
Like,
which is like, what, like, I mean, he knows he can't do anything. Like that leads to such a weird, like, what the fuck is this?
how can he just go, okay, well, I'm just not going to inject Aaron and give him the attack Titan. That's all he has to do. Aaron's a fucking... At that point, Aaron is a small child.
Well, see, I think the only reason why it works is the fact that once he comes back and the wall is broken and his second wife is dead, and you know, at that point, whether he knew it or not, he's just like, you know what? Fuck this noise. I can't let the Marlians win, because he knows it's the Marlians who initiated the events that led to his wife dying. Aaron had nothing to do with it. So it pissed him off enough post that point that he's like, nah, fuck this noise. Maybe Aaron should win, but the Marlians...
Well, Aaron needs to do what Aaron does, but Aaron eventually needs to be stopped.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think maybe he's thinking at that point that that Aaron needs to be stopped. But then there's a drastic situation, a drastic event that happened that's like, you know what? Stopping Aaron is like number 10 on my list of what I give a fucks about.
Yeah, you need to stop Aaron, but Aaron still needs to do what Aaron does, at least a little bit.
Well, and that's where I'm thinking, like, at that point in time, because he doesn't know what Aaron's planning, what Aaron's
No,
going
he has
to do.
no clue what Aaron's planning.
But he understands that there's something wrong with Aaron. In which case,
Why would he just not give the attack titan to Aaron?
but that's what I'm saying is Grisha's wife being killed leads to such a emotional response of like anger and hatred and what have you. That he's like, you know what? Aaron may not be the right answer, the solution, but I am so pissed off right now. Fuck that noise. Let the world burn. So he may
But
understand.
then why would he tell Zeke to stop Aaron?
But that's what I'm saying, though. That's pre him understanding that his wife was killed, that the paradise is under attack. That's
Oh, I
him
see what you're
understanding
saying.
that.
You need to stop Aaron, and then he finds out his wife is dead, and he goes, well, fuck it, Aaron can win.
Yeah,
Or
you
fuck
know
it,
what?
I
I'm
need
so
Aaron.
pissed off right now, and I know that I have a limited time left. I'm gonna give it to Aaron because I am just that angry.
Okay. You're talking Minority Report type.
Yeah,
Where
like,
what he gets to a certain point, and he goes, "Oh, that's why I give it to Aaron."
so
Got
yeah,
it.
no, Aaron might be a little bastard, quote unquote, but by and large, I'm now more on the side of Aaron than I am on, you know.
Okay, so the attack on
Maria, I want to say.
no, well, I was gonna say Shiganshina, but the attack on
Eh, well, yeah.
Shiganshina and him losing his wife went. You know what? No,
Yeah.
Aaron's right. Aaron was 100% fucking right.
And that's the way it makes sense to me, I should say. Because that's the big thing, like, you have to have a reason, like, the fact that somehow he knows enough about Aaron that he has, like, you gotta stop him. But within, like, what is it, 48 hours or something like that,
He
he's all of a
changes
sudden
his
like,
mind. It's okay.
yeah, he's like, you know what, no, fuck that noise. Aaron needs to win. He's psychotic. So I don't know how he knows he's psychotic. Like that's the other overarching where it's like, why does Grisha go, hey, you know what? Aaron needs to be stopped. Like how?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? Because
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
interaction
Him telling
that
Zeke to stop Aaron doesn't make any sense because he could have. Yeah, Grisha is a doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
So-
was a doctor.
Yeah, so that's what we're saying is, or well, sorry to go back.
Right now, we're just trying to figure out. I mean, sorry, this is spoilers if you haven't done it. We're trying to figure out the time disparity that exists, because when it comes down to it, I mean, I'm hyper when it comes to continuity. So I'm one of those people where all of a sudden, hey, you know, one of the secret abilities of the Attack Titan is that he can, in a sense, influence the past. Okay, then how does he influence the past, but the past still remains the same?
Yeah,
And so right now we were just talking about how when it comes down to it, Grisha, when talking to Zeke in a time warp, was telling Zeke, you have to stop Aaron. But it turns out that afterwards he still in a sense sides with Aaron, because all he'd have to do is not give Aaron the attack titan. But he does. So Grisha must have sat there and went, you know what? And I'm arguing currently it's an emotional response from his second wife being killed, that he's just like, you know what, fuck this noise. I'm gonna give it to Aaron, regardless of whether I think he's good or bad. I want vengeance.
that's what Lord of
Please
Destruction
don't
was
spoil
saying.
it for us.
Yeah. we're in conjecture mode because we apparently need to wait till 2023 to get the resolution of the story.
Are the mangas finished actually?
Yeah, mangas are done.
I thought you were saying like there were 7 chapters or whatever removed or still going to be released.
No, there's like 7 chapters left that the anime hasn't covered.
Got it. No, when it comes down to it, I only have one question that I am willing to accept spoilers on, and that is, does it make sense? Like, when you really think about it, does the ending make sense? That's the only thing I want to know.
Don't tell him. He doesn't actually want to know. He really doesn't. He's lying about that.
I do want to know if it makes sense. Not specifics-wise, just like, yes, it does make sense. Either way, I'm 90% likely to be disappointed. I know this already. So, I'm prepared for disappointment, but, you know, maybe there's that little tidbit where it's like, actually, yeah, no, it totally makes sense. And then I will be so happily surprised.
Ah, the great yes and no. I love that answer.
Yeah, it's the best answer. It depends on your perspective and what you're willing to let go. Yeah. So, it's like every other book, anime, TV show.
Dyer is down.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, I mean, I've been enjoying the anime thus far, but adding that whole Attack Titan can go into the past, that was like one of the greatest and worst decisions
thing,
that they could have made. Or like, it was fascinating. It really was like, oh, that's amazing. I totally need to rewatch the entire show. But outside of that particular response, then it leads to what's happening right now. The hypercritical. Well, what does this mean exactly?
Yeah, no, and I've been going through the show since season 1, episode 1, and there have been a few things that I've noticed that have made me go, okay, I think dude had a better idea where he was going with the story than I originally gave him credit.
Yeah, no, I was actually talking a little bit of shit about him about 2 weeks ago, but I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah, the things like Mikasa's headaches, the things like, you know, Aaron getting his flashes of the future while he's sleeping, you know, little things like that, like...
Oh, that's another spoiler for you, Psyonix. It'll probably be the last one. Apparently, the Ackerman clan is kind of like the Super Soldier clan, but how they became part of the LD and Royal Family bodyguards or what have you has not been covered yet, at least in the anime.
Unfortunately, saying it's better than Fairy Tail.
I haven't finished Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Like I am close to it, but I had what was it? So the chick who has the like the flaming hair or what have you,
Elsa.
and she was raised by like frost giants or what have you. At that point, that's around the time I just stopped watching. Like I enjoyed, I just didn't enjoy that much. Or it's just like I still have it on my computer. Like I can literally start watching it now, and it's like I have no urge to.
Yeah, I gave up on Fairy Tail after the... Honestly, it was the time traveling bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to time travel, I am the most critical SOB you're ever going to find. But right now, one of the things that I just restarted watching is the I keep forgetting the proper name of it, but it's the Shield Hero anime.
The Tower Arc with Jalal. That's... I think I know what you're talking about. It's been a long time since I watched Fairy Tail.
No,
Rising of the
earlier
Shield Hero.
one. That's still like season 1. That's where they go to like the slave island, and you have that guy who's like part or made of bricks and stuff like that, and he looks like a
Season 1, my ass. That was like episode 4 or 500.
Oh, that was season 1.
I'm
Season
sorry.
2 is when they're
You don't have
Yeah,
400 episodes
Rising
in one
well,
season.
Rising of the Shield Hero. Yeah, no, that I'm going through season 1 of that right now again because season 2 is coming out this weekend. Yeah, no, that show's caught my attention. Not gonna cover what it's caught my attention, but it's really caught my attention. Oh, actually, I do agree with that though. It should have stopped after that because, you know, actually, another kind of side random is like Naruto. You know what? The pain arc was the best arc. Everything post that was just garbage. But the pain arc was awesome. And I remember I was using this sub website called Dante Bio, which was obviously based off of Naruto saying Dante Bio all the goddamn time. And at the very beginning, they would put in like editor's notes and what have you. And I didn't spoil it for Xyonix, but on the editor's note, it was just like, goddamn Jesus, Jitsu. And I saw that, I was like, I wonder what the hell that means. And then I saw what it meant, and I was so pissed off.
And I agree. I haven't even watched Boruto, and I know it was a mistake.
Yes, I downloaded the first couple episodes out of curiosity, and I never watched a single one of them.
Well, it's just one of those things. It's like,
think about it,
once you take
Sasuke-
on God, how do you go from there?
Yeah, like God 2.0. That's the problem. Is like when it comes straight down to it, Naruto and Sasuke are now like literally the two most powerful
All right, you
breaking
get
the
it.
world, breaking reality type ninjas of all time. So, oh no, Boruto got in trouble because now he's taking on what? You have, I believe, every single one of the tailed beasts inside of you. You are now literally a badass. The only thing that is equal to, well, more and or equal to badassery is what's the proper eye? I forget what the eye was called. The super
Sharingan.
Sharingan, not the second one, the third one. I forget the proper name at the moment.
Sharingan gun.
Yeah. But you have that, and when it comes down to it, like he can act, even with I'm forgetting all the Sharingan names at the moment. And how is the Sharingan actually better than the God damn it, the eye that Hinata's clan has? I'm dropping that one too now. It's been a couple years.
Fuck, I don't have a Berthold. Well, I do have a Berthold, but he's a useless Berthold.
Yeah. Byakugan. That's
Yeah.
Oh, right. I saw that before. Mangek? No, the one post Mangekyo Sharingan. The one that the spiral shape for the entire eye. Like that was the super eye ability that like was the
Renagan? I just called it the Sharingan gun.
No, you're right. That's what it was. You're right.
Well, I know it wasn't Sharingan gun.
It wasn't. I mean, I see it now, and that's right. I just totally brain farting the proper pronunciation. Because Renagan, it sounds wrong. But either way.
You don't seem to understand. I have so many commas in my eyeball. They're a spiral.
Yeah, screw it. I'll just take on the boss. But
Just don't kill it before I drop the.
no, I won't kill it. I promise. I super promise.
I don't believe.
No. But yeah, that just is. Once it came down to like that, what exactly are they going to be taking on, especially
Kill.
since, at this point, have you ever played a game called Chrono Trigger? Uh, Lord of Destruction? Because, as far as I'm concerned, this is kind of like the heroes taking on Lavos. They've beaten Lavos. So what, there's going to be a Lavos 2.0? Lavos 3.0? Oh, dude, it is the best RPG of all time. I mean, I am hyperly biased. It is my personal favorite. But yeah, no, it's one of those. Oh yeah, no, there's a Super Lavos who's gonna come to Naruto planet because they are mad about other Lavos being killed. This doesn't make sense at all.
You killed my Lavos wife. Your Wedos wife? I'm gonna take a piss. Be right back.
Actually, from some of the scenes that I've seen or that I looked into, it's more like you killed my Lavos mother, and it's like, what? What? Seriously, dude, Chrono Trigger, totally worth playing. Love Chrono, love Frog, love Isla, love Robo. Only two I don't care for is Marley and fucking Luca, but whatever, that's a side note. I never actually got into Digimon. You'd have to talk to Xanax on that one. I think that was more up his alley. Of course, was Digimon SNES or SNES, or I thought that didn't come out till PlayStation. Because the original Chrono Trigger was SNES, then you had Chrono Cross, which was, I believe, PlayStation 2. But I straight up hated Chrono Cross.
Honestly, my knowledge of Digimon is relatively limited.
Going for
I remember watching it a lot as a kid, but I don't retain much knowledge about the story. I just remember that it was largely just Power Rangers meets Pokemon type of thing. Well, because you had a whole lot of evolutions, and basically, like, once the main characters reached a certain power level, like, it kind of like Dragon Ball Z, like, once, you know, Goku hit Super Saiyan, every fight from there on at least required Super Saiyan before they could finish the fight. You know, and Digimon, like,
I mean, I was
their
about to
critters
say
had
no.
different evolutions, but every meaningful fight required, like, they had to evolve to that particular form, and
I was about to say no, but if I remember right, Goku did take down Frieza and King Cold in the first Super Saiyan form, but he kind of unlocked higher Super Saiyan form. I don't think he was Super Saiyan. Was he Super Saiyan 2 at that point? I don't know. No, enjoyed it, but I have to admit, once it got to the point where he was like literally fighting the god of destruction who like wakes up every 10,000 years, it's like, okay, this is getting straight up stupid. Which I know, very tolerant of me, waiting for the god of destruction to come around, and it's like, I don't think I care about this show anymore.
I mean, when he was just taking on the god of pestilence, it was okay. But the god of destruction, seriously, OMG, so cringe.
Well, actually, that leads to the other thing that I find amusing is supposedly the strongest person in the DBZ universe is what was it called? Mystic Gohan. What he was after that I don't know, Supreme Gokai or Gokai? What was the guy who teached Goku the Spirit Palm again? I forget the title. King something, not Yama.
Yeah, I wasn't super big King
Kai,
Kai.
Kai. That's right. So it was the Supreme Kai that like did that whatever dance for like 24 hours to unlock the super abilities. You know, I have to admit, I've been really tempted to look up JoJo, but it just feels like I'm so far behind that I don't think I could on the high seas find all the episodes. Like I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and it seems interesting. I can't say.
I mean,
I'm
that
so
seems
behind.
kind of absurd from the guy who watched, you know, Naruto all the way through twice.
No, more than twice. More than that.
That's one of those things. Like, if you can
It-
watch
no, it's
Naruto
getting my
twice,
hands
you
on the
can
copies,
watch anything.
It's not the length. It's just getting the videos, the source. That's the problem. It's the same thing with like me watching Hunter x Hunter. I only found that by accident, and it took me a goddamn minute to find the 1999 version. And I was totally surprised when they did, what was it, the 2009 version or something like that? Don't know when it came out. I found it, and I was goddamn lucky that I was able to find a source to get all the episodes, but yeah, that took some digging.
Buddha doesn't do starting in the middle. Yep, we both
Yeah,
actually
no,
like Yu Yu
I was actually
Hakusho.
quite surprised by that. Well, I was gonna make sure I'm very surprised and not surprised at all, I guess. But yeah, I've been watching this one guy, and he's talking about Hunter x Hunter, and he was talking about how the guy who made Yu Yu Hakusho, like he got really bored of making, or bored or annoyed, something like that, about making Yu Yu Hakusho, and how that led to certain results. But the thing that really made me laugh, because it was one of the handful of animes I was able, or longer animes I should say, that I got Cyanix to watch. And once it got to the Celestial Tower, so spoiler, 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 spoiler. Uh, it's like, oh, if you beat 10 battles, you can do this Battle Olympia or what have you. And Cyanix is in there. It's like, oh great, so now they're gonna be, you know, going through a bunch of tournaments, and they're gonna go do the whole Battle Olympia thing. Okay, whatever. I'm just sitting there like, but I'm not gonna tell them that. So once
Well, to
they,
be fair, Yu Yu Hakusho did that.
I know, but once Gon took on Hisoka, and he's like, okay, I at least hit him in the face, and I get to give back his badge. That's good enough for me. And then they just walk off. Cyanix is like, hey, what the hell is that? I'm like, oh, that's part of the reason why I love this.
Yeah, no, that was that totally caught me off guard on that one. That was, not gonna lie, I totally expected, you know, Gon and Killua to spend their time in that stupid fucking tower.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that. Married to the chick who made Sailor Moon. Interesting. I think my sister got into Sailor Moon. I never did. Honestly though, one thing I remember, yet again, sister, is I forget what it was called, the mask hero, the mask guy or whatever. She had a bit of an anime boner for that type thing, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. Just never got it. I was actually always more Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Mercury. Those are the two I remember sticking out for me.
Nope, never got into Sailor Moon. Always looked at it as a girls' show.
Like I said, my sister would watch it, and you know, I just wanted to watch TV. So okay, she's watching it, I'm watching it. I don't really care. By and large, stupid, but like I said, she liked the masked hero, masked man, mask, whatever side thing. I
Fast
don't really know.
baby.
Don't really care. Gundam. Now I got into some Gundam. Of course, the one that I don't know the proper title for, because I know they all have a bunch of subtitles, is the one where you have I'm gonna be dropping names. You have Hero, and he ended up flying Wing Zero. You have Trey's Kushernada flying Epion, and then you have oh, dropping his name too. Um, Miliardo Peacecraft, because I'm dropping his other name. Tito Mask. God damn it, that's what it was. Thank you. The Lightning Count. God damn it, what was his name?
Dex Marquis?
Yes, Zex Marquise.
I don't get credit for that. That was Lord of Destruction.
You Lord of Destruction. But yeah, no,
I just came back
that
at the
one.
right time, so I'll bet.
The other Gundam Wing I really got into, and it's depressing as all hell, is the Gundam Wing Iron Blood Orphans. Yeah, and that one is so like. Give me a second.
Okay, I'll wait. Yeah, keep your doing. You're talking about Gundam Wing.
But yeah, no, that one was depressing as shit, especially. And this is one of those. It's a anime that finished like this last week, and I'm not gonna remember the entire title of it. But again, no, I'm gonna have to look it up to even attempt it. But it's about a guy. It's one of those fish out of water animes where a guy is teleported out of Japan, and then he's blah blah blah, and he ends up becoming king of this medieval world, and he starts enacting a bunch of social policies. And you know what? He does a good job. I agree with a lot of it, but the problem is it's not acknowledging the law of unintended consequences, because just like in Iron Blood Orphanage, uh what happens when a bunch of child soldiers start kicking ass is that
You need to make sure you're watching chat, man.
I know I'm looking at right now.
I'm about to say, because this is a conversation between you two. I don't know shit about Gundam Wing.
This is not something I can say on. Evo isn't in Wings universe. Don't know about the Wings universe. Oh, Iron Blood. Oh, it isn't? Oh, well. Actually, no, that makes sense, because in Iron Blood Orphanage, there's from what I understand and seen, there's no real they don't have space stations, I guess is the best way to put it. Like in Gundam Wing, they have a bunch of space or colonies. That's the word I'm looking for. No, I could see it being alternate universe, but I'm not gonna lie. I always figured that most of the Gundam Wings were kind of like Final Fantasy. Like they each have their own universes. Like I didn't think they were all in one continuous universe. I mean, if I'm wrong on that, please let me know. But like I said, I always figure it's like, okay, you have Gundam Wings here, you have Gundam Wings there, and while they involve Earth and sometimes other planets, by and large, they were distinct stories and universes. I honestly didn't think they had any crossover. And that's 3 since online. Yeah, it took me a second reading IBO. It's like IBO. Oh, Iron Blood Orphan. I'm smart.
Now, you guys have left me behind.
No, that's fine.
I am a fucking
watched,
tourist when it comes to anime.
Yeah. Well, for me, like, I think you might enjoy Iron Blood Orphanage, but at the same time, it's one of those. I don't know how to put it. Like, it's not exactly that it's too militaristic, because it's action based and what have you, but there was just a flavor about it where it's like, you know what, I love it, but I just don't think you would. I don't know how to put it. It's like, I don't think you would enjoy a smell type thing is ultimately where I'm at on that one.
ございます。
I'm gonna go take on the dire elimination because I'm not part of the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had I'm not gonna lie. You are.
すまない助かった
I mean, there's not very many people that I know can put Buddha to
you are the
shame on
senpai
this
on this
one.
particular note, dude. I've watched about 3 Gundam Wings, or 3 Gundams, I should say. Cause you have Gundam, well, the one with sex marquees and whatnot. I don't know if that has a specific one outside just being Gundam. You have Gundam Iron Blood Orphans, and then you have and then I've watched about half of Gundam Wing Zero and that one Gundam Wing where like they're inside the cockpit, but it's like they're in a bodysuit that allows the Gundam to react to their bodies. And that I don't even think I watched half of. So, yeah, those I've watched 2 completely, and I've watched those 2 partially. So, yeah, no, when it comes down to it, dude, you say anything else, I'm just gonna don't believe you, because I mean, I enjoy it as a general sense, but I haven't watched it.
I watched Sword Art Online.
It just become worse and worse as time goes on. See, I thought there was multiple quote-unquote Gundam Wings. That's where it's like, yeah, you have the one with the Sex Marquis and Hero and whatever, or at Trey's Kushinada. But I thought most of them were called Gundam Wing, and that's where it's like, I'm not sure what defined it. So all of them are Gundams, but this one is Gundam Wing. Yeah, that's good to know. That's actually been a curiosity of mine. Mobile Fighter. What is it called? Mobile Fighter G? I mean, that sounds familiar. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm just trying to ring the bell in my own head on for that one. Yeah, no, I don't even know if I got halfway through that particular one. But yeah, no, in general sense, I have like 1 to 2 terabytes worth of anime, so it's like trying to recall all in the specifics. It's like, that sounds right. That sounds wrong.
I'm assuming F Kicks is Netflix.
Yeah.
No, I figured as much. No worries.
Dude, your typing is definitely.
Yeah, no, yeah. No worries, dude. But
The OG movie. I honestly don't think I've ever watched the OG Gundam. Gundam Wing is the earliest and the one that I really got sold on. Actually, random note, I know I was talking about this a week or 2 ago, but the one anime that really sold me, and this was when American Sci-Fi was airing animes or anime movie or OVA on Saturday mornings. It was Iria the Zarum Project. That was actually the one that truly sold me on anime. And I showed it to Alex and he thought I was stupid, but you know, whatever. That was the one where it's like, you know what? I'm a fan and I want to watch more. And that's what straight up sold me. And it took me so long. Same with Yu Yu Hakusho, because to be fair, I knew a lot of the general notes, but I didn't know the name of the anime. So I'm looking up like things like Spirit Detective and Baby Koenma or what have you. Like, I was tapping on everything, and it took me a couple of years to figure out Yu Yu Hakusho. I was so pissed at myself, but whatever. That's the way it works.
Inuyasha. I know that anime.
See, I think I only got about halfway through that one. And Bleach, I don't know. Like I enjoyed. Well, as far as I'm concerned, and I have to admit, I'm kind of torn because I know that they're starting or they're going to be releasing a new Bleach anime soon. But I was watching almost all the way up to the point where they were going to be taking on his name, Aizen. Aizen, I think his name was. He was the guy who was a captain, but then he ended up working for the other side. I forget what the other side particularly was called. But yeah, I got up to that part, and well, not even that part per se, because they started taking on enemies that started having like German names or something like that, or German abilities, or at least that's the way it sounded to me. But I got up to that part, and then all of a sudden, I just started like petering out. Like I enjoyed it. It started doing what pissed me off about Naruto, where all of a sudden there's like 10 fillers for every legit episode. And once that started happening, I just was like, you know, oh, on top of that, I also got deployed in that interim, in which case it was just like, don't care. And I'm not gonna lie, it actually was like 2 or 3 years later that I was like, you know what, I want to go back to Naruto. I have fond memories. Especially since the bastard I was, well, depending on your perspective. It was a male to female transgendered individual who I had a conversation about it with, and I was just like, so, who exactly does Naruto end up hooking up with? Does he end up hooking with Hinata, or does he end up hooking up with Sakura? Bitch was like, well, you gotta watch to find out.
You can't just fucking tell me.
Come on, save me some time. I don't care about the filler episodes where they introduced the what was he? The tail? The bubble one or what have you.
Let's be fair though. Hinata was a very clear winner. When it
Well,
came to...
it's always possible that some BS was gonna happen, that he was gonna hook up with Sakura. I just wanted to know.
No, soccer was useless. She deserved to get, you know, whatever fucking stonemason or, you know.
Is that what it's called? The 1,000-Year Blood Okay.
We haven't gotten our dyer, have we? Oh, no, I need to save you mirror first. Never mind. Sorry. My bad.
I'm gonna take on one boss segment. Yeah, no, I can't say how far I got into Inuyasha. Like the literal last plot point I remember,
There it
which
is.
is early. I know I've gone further than it is.
Nah, you're closer. You deal with it.
I'm gonna kill this boss titan first. Is when he finally learns how to use the wind slash intentionally, like everywhere. That's the last thing I really remember about Inuyasha. Attack on Titan. Oh, no, not Attack on Titan, my bad. Naruto, I've watched it all. And like I said, for me, it ultimately should have ended around the pain arc. Because after that, well, there's certain good and enjoyableness. Now, the pain arc was the true.
It didn't have to end at the pain arc. It just had to not do the Jesus Jitsu.
Well, not that it had to end. It's just that's where.
No, you take away Jesus Jitsu. Then all of a sudden the remainder of Naruto has a lot more impact. You know, all those people that died, you know, now you have an actual motivation where, okay, yeah, Pain destroyed the town, but he killed a lot of people. And then you had Jesus Jitsu. It's like, okay, now you just destroyed the town, which is a minor inconvenience compared to, you know, the thousands of people you just fucking murdered. But no,
think about it. well, while that's true, the thing that really sold it for me was they killed Kakashi. I mean, as soon as they killed Kakashi, I was like, no fucking way. Then the other one was when they, well, I honestly didn't think Hinata was dead, but when they mortally wounded at least Hinata, oh dude, especially when Naruto went into straight up like 7 or 8 of the 9 tails, psychotic. That was amazing. Yes, I loved it. And then Jesus Jutsu, in which case it was all irrelevant. In which case I got really annoyed.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to lean on Buddha on this one, Lord of Destruction. The words you're using appear to be English, but they're confusing and strange to me.
Oh, I'm so glad I didn't watch Boruto then. I know they killed Jiraiya, but they had a clone of him appear. No, that doesn't mean. No! Pound Sand, I'm so glad I never watched a single episode. I mean, that was actually one of the first, like, most emotionally. Don't get me wrong, having the third Hokage die, that was like oh wow, that's actually sad. But having Jiraiya killed, especially when he was going full, I don't know, Super Saiyan, going all badass as he could, not only to win, just survive, and he still lost. That was like oh, and especially when you tag that along with Tsunade's, hey, if you want me to survive, just bet that I'm gonna die, and then, know your luck, all will be well. And she ends up like, that was straight up like, oh god, I feel bad. I really feel bad. Oh, they're clone? No. I would have been. I mean, if I don't know if I would have watched it to that point, but that would have been something that would have pissed me off to the umpteenth degree. Fuck that noise. You don't remember Jiraiya Ionix?
No, I do remember Jiraiya. The guy who taught Naruto how to frog eye.
No, close enough. He taught him how to do the frog summon.
Frog
And he
eye.
also taught him how to do the Rasengan.
Like I said, I'm a fucking tourist. I don't claim to be an anime expert.
When it comes to Onyx, his understanding of anime is like my toss-offs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I try to get him to watch anime, but because he's so, like, I never got him to watch Gundam Wing. Well, correction. I got him to watch the first 5 episodes, which is all I request, of Gundam Wing. And then he dropped out, especially after it's like, my name is Troy Barton, by the by. And he's like, I'm done. It's good. I'm done. Okay. He did 5 episodes. That's all I ask.
まあ仕事ですからこっちに強い巨人がいるのかな
やるしかねえだろ
You're right. I mean, I have to admit, I'm assuming on certain things. But well, one thing, what I understand at least, is when Asuma died too. That was emotionally impactful. Actually, the one that was truly emotionally impactful, and this applies to Xanax too, is the Chimera Ant for Hunter x Hunter. And when I forget the girl's name, but when Meruem is sitting there playing, I don't remember
Whatever
what
that
called,
game.
But I wish that game was a reality, because that game sounds badass as hell. But when they sat there and they just kept playing, and they slowly got weaker and weaker and weaker, I mean, That hit the fucking feels, man. That hit the goddamn feels.
Yeah, well, when Miriam survived a fucking goddamn nuke, I was so mad. I'm like, don't fuck this up, or don't fuck this up, show.
You know, and when it comes to that, the one thing I really remember, because it was like, you were like, I want to go to bed. It's like, no, dude, you gotta watch one more episode. Just one more episode. And during that one more episode, that's when he ends up using that little rose. And, dude, that is up there with one of the best episodes.
No, I still remember when Miriam and What's Her Nugget died. I'm like, oh, this,
Oh, yeah, I straight up teared up.
Food Wars Watcher? No, we're talking about Hunter x Hunter. Food Wars Watcher?
Sechs is the German for 6, and neun is German for 9. Food Wars Watcher. No, we're not. Well, I'm not Food War Watchers. I don't know about that. Don't get me wrong. I watch some cooking shit, but can't say I watch Food Wars. I actually did watch one cooking anime though, just random. I forget what it was called. I was so pissed off because they didn't actually cover the cook or like how they were cooking. It was just like, hey, look, he cooks spaghetti and the spaghetti is amazing, or he cooks this and it's amazing. It's just like, come on, at least talk about like get the boil the noodles for 4 minutes or some horseshit. I want to know, and it's the same thing. Like I hate baseball, but I still watched Aces of the Diamonds, and I'm actually really excited for another season of that. And I hate baseball, but that made it fascinating. Okay, apparently I need to look up Food Wars then.
Hanjime no Ippo was another one that Buddha made me watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was a boxing
Prince of
anime.
Tennis. I did watch that. I did enjoy that, except for near the end. Well, I don't know if I've watched everything. It was near the end where the protagonist, he ends up going to what was the main like tennis tournament that happens. I have not seen Parasite. I have not. Are you talking about the Korean Parasite, or are you talking about? Well, either way, I haven't watched either.
You mean the Chinese Parasite? The Rona? Alright, so that was a bad joke. That was a dumb joke.
That wasn't even a legitimate joke.
Yeah, it's a virus, not a parasite.
Unless you're a psionics, in which case I guess there's.
I'm
First,
reaching
to be
for
fair,
participation.
I still haven't watched that one Korean TV show you have to watch.
Squid Game?
Yeah, I still haven't watched that one.
Oh, Squid Game is awesome. It's a great game. It's a great game.
It's a great game.
It's a great game. I really liked it. I thought it was a compelling TV show.
No, and that's fine. It's, the only way I could put it is think back to well, I don't know about you, but the Joker movie. Like I've heard people rave about that movie. And
That was a pile of cum.
Huh?
That was a pile of cum.
Okay, that's good to know. Because like I literally watched it for like 20 minutes, and then I just decided, I just don't care. I just assumed it was rubbing the wrong perspective for me, but yeah, no. I watched it and I was for 20 minutes and went, I'm done. I just don't care.
Yeah, no, it led to a lot of memes, but as far as the quality of the show was concerned, I was not impressed. The biggest problem with it is it basically establishes the Joker as being 30 years older than Batman.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were responding to Lord of Destruction because, you know, the one with the right, or with the talking right hand. Oh, Dunpeel. That's, yeah, I like that one. That's not Parasite, that's, Blood something. I like that one. That was a really good one, especially the movie. Wish they came out with another one, too. But yeah, no, he's a Dunpeel because he's half vampire, half human. And his vampiric father was, well, assumed, I don't think it was defined, is Dracula. So, he has a lot of powers. I really like that one. That was a great anime. What was it called though?
I vaguely remember watching an anime where a dude had a talking right hand.
Yeah, it was like blood. That was actually another one as a kid I remember watching, and I mean the fact that it had really helped on the selling of it too. Yeah, you know, random. But I remember he was called a Dunpeel, which is the term that they use for half vampire, half human. And that was actually one of those things, especially when it came to talk about that. But yeah, no, it was a very good anime. Now I'm just trying to remember what the fuck it was called though. For that, then I'll go for the Rex. Vampire Hunter D. Vampire Hunter D. That's what it was called. Well, at least that's... Were they both called Vampire Hunter D? Because you had a movie that I think was made in like the... I kind of want to say the 80s, thinking back to the anime or animation style. But then you had one done in late 1990s and or early 2000s.
We both fucked off before we were done over here.
Oh, I thought you were taking care of it, so I was, like I said, I was going to wait and take away with the dregs.
Yeah, I thought we were done. We were not done. Heading towards Hangy.
You know, actually, that was one of those, like, well, I found it really good. Well, I think it's a really good anime music video for Vampire Hunter D, the second one, Bloodlust or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
It was a German song. God, I want to listen to it now. But,
we can't listen to good music on stream. We can only listen to copyright-free music on stream.
But he the way the anime ends is he runs into this chick who's a vampire hunter who doesn't particularly care for speed, and during that time, she's like, hey, you know, if I die, you know, make sure I get a good funeral or what have you. But because he's part vampire, he's pretty much near immortal. So she ends up, you know, living to be like 80, 90 years old before she's dying. But he still looks like he's in his 20s and what have you. So he goes to her funeral and he has to stay at a distance because Dunpeels are not accepted.
Dunpeels are not welcome at non-Dunpeel weddings.
Well, and funerals. But yeah, no, that was a interesting ending. I mean, I wish that they would do more. It's right up there with Like seriously, that's
There
how
it
you know.
is.
後で何か要求されそうだぜ
これで
Dire.
2人目の下僕が手に入ったな
Don't kill the boss. I'll drop the dire real quick.
なるよね
Yeah.
お世辞じゃないよ
I know how you like to drop the boss.
お前が世辞など言わないことくらい知っているぜ
The boss is standing. The once was in any cake.
Kill it.
あんたなら余裕だろ
Kill it with fire.
相手してやるかいけさ任せますよ
No, another one that comes to mind, especially since I don't like it, is Sword Art Online. Like initially, it was amazing, but after repeated watches, it's like they done fucked this up. They could have done so much better.
Oh yeah.
And going to the final season, supposed final season, I don't think they're gonna stick the landing. That they had too much interim where they just
Gotta
decided
be-
to do bullshit where it's like not gonna happen, not gonna happen. Is that the end of well, I'm gonna go take a piss, but I leave this to you. Are we gonna keep doing this or are we gonna be switching over to Don't Starve? No, that's one of those crazy things too, where like Sword Art Online, I remember loving the ever living shit out of it, but it just didn't do well. And after repeated watches, because I have watched it multiple times, it just like it could have done better. It should have done better. Like right now, and this is part of the reason why I think I really love Overlord. Like Overlord stuck the landing when it comes to the beginning. I have issues with season 2, but season 3 is beautiful.
So, I was sort of planning on doing Don't Starve Together tonight, but it's almost 10 o'clock, so I figure we just stick with Attack on Titan tonight and work in Don't Starve Together later in the week.
Yeah. Well, it's like I was saying earlier too, where I'm kind of assuming that we that we use Tuesday as sort of like random. Like hell, I'm not thinking about some of the stuff to do or to do on Tuesday, especially since Tuesday is our least viewed day. Is
Yeah.
play some StarCraft, play some Yu-Gi-Oh, play some
And I'm okay with that. Fundamentally, I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. I'm just saying if we switch games now, we're not going to be able to put in more than maybe an hour.
よし
Well, you have to think, from the way it looks, Don't Starve / Don't Starve Together seems to be mildly equivalent to
ここを拠点にするよ
I want to say Terraria?
行ってくれ
Because
And
you're
it-
setting up, you want a light source for, keeping away the crazy, I guess. And you want food so you don't starve. So,
Well, we
I don't
haven't actually played the game, so we don't know. Like, I would rather lead with Don't Starve, so we can have nice, clear minds when we start playing it. Like, I'm totally okay with Don't Starve Together. I think Don't Starve Together would be a perfectly fun game to play.
Yeah, no, it's the one that has your attention. I'm just the first time we play, we're gonna look like morons anyways. So it's like, yeah, let's look
But
like morons.
I would rather look like a moron, you know, sober.
Such a fun fantasy.
It'll be truth if we lead with it.
You lose Erwin?
I did not lose Erwin, you did. But that's fine, it's not a big deal.
I really want to watch.
We're gonna get Armin here real fucking quick. You shall hold the what now?
Anime that I enjoy but have issues with. Shield Hero is the way I've been putting it, but I guess it's called
Rise of the Shield Hero.
Like, I think the best way to equate this, for you at least, is remember when I was saying I'm watching Arcane? Like, there's almost no real good time to break watching Arcane. Now, sadly enough, I can't say that about Shield Hero, but you have to get about 18 episodes in before you're like, okay, that's a good time to quit. Shield Hero is...
So it gets good after 30 hours, is what you're saying.
No, it's awesome for the first 30 hours. It's the last 30, or the last 10 that it's like, okay, I don't know if I really care.
Oh. Okay.
Like, I highly recommend minimum the first 12 episodes. Like, no compunction, no, like, well, you know, you have to enjoy fart jokes. It's, no, first 20 episodes, or first 12 episodes. If you don't like that, we have fundamental disagreements on about good entertainment type thing. Like, this is solid. And the next chunk of the 12 episodes is pretty good. There's some fluff in there. I'm not gonna lie, but by and large, it runs well. But yeah, no, the first 12 episodes, I would argue is straight up solid. Like, not even like a, you know, there's one episode. All 12.
Attacking the Dire.
Same. No, actually, near the end, but one of the things that might lead to some trouble, but is accurate, is I'm finding some of my more favorite animes in general apparently tend to be harem-esque animes. Because you got Gate, you got Shield Hero, or Rise of the Shield Hero.
Yeah.
You got a couple of animes that I'm not going to be able to pronounce, and I don't know the English translation of. Because the one where you have a Japanese guy teleport over and you start enacting social programs. That I just remember the first word like genjutsu, which doesn't make sense because as far as I can tell, is genjutsu means illusion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and there. Oh, and then you have Arfu. I'm not gonna try to remember that one, but that one starts off with you have a guy who is yet again teleported to another world. and they have, you know, super abilities, the hero abilities, and he's a metallurgist, blacksmith type thing.
Yeah, you're telling me about
And
him, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, and that one, so that's like four. That's just like, you know what, oh, and then you also have what is it called, like Mukasa, something like that. So yeah, no, I have like 5 or 6 animes that are harem based. That is just like, wow, this is a good anime. The harem aspect more amusing than anything. It doesn't fucking matter, but the story behind them is fucking, well, I
Well, I
find them
mean,
enjoyable, but
harem animes tend to have the same jokes over and over again.
the jokes are the mostly irrelevant parts. And actually, the one that where guy gets teleported over and starts doing social policy. I mean, I enjoy that one, but that's probably the one I enjoy the least, mainly because it spends more time on the whole like harem aspect, and you know what? No, I mean, having it be a thing, it's kind of like let's take a TV show that I really got into, The House. His, you know, pseudo whatever relationship with Cuddy is one thing, you know, and get behind it, it's whatever. You can run with it. But once it became a legit relationship, all of a sudden it was like, this is dumb, and I don't care. And after the relationship fell apart, this is dumb, and I don't care. So when the relationship aspect is either simply defined or something that's mostly ignored, I can roll with it. I'm happy with it. But once they start putting, you know, an emphasis on it, then it's like, I got issues. I'm leaving those strays for you. I'm going for Erwin.
No, you're fine.
And as a random note, that's my favorite I mean, I loved Heavy Arms. Sandrock was always stupid. Never liked Sandrock. Well, 0-1. Never liked Heavy Arms. This is me talking to whoever watches in the future because you have no idea what that is about.
Yeah. Dyer's up.
Arrow Dyer. There once was a Dyer that came to me and Levi cut him in 2 pieces.
Cut him in fine.
My SOS went up, my Levi blade went down. Oh, cut my Billy boy, cut me. Soon may the
Levi come soon. Cut, die, cut, die.
Tight shish kebabs. Get 'em. You know, actually, when I was the last place that I worked,
Yeah.
in certain respect, there was the chick I was working with, and she was like, "Yeah, no, my son turned me on to I may be dead, I guess." Oh, good, we won. Thank you.
Yeah,
But
no, I
the
ended
chick
the
that I was
fight.
working with, she said her son turned her on to Fairy Tale. And she's like, yeah, no, I killed it in a weekend. I'm like, um, you realize that
No,
Fairy Tale is some
you,
like 400 episodes, right? You're not
yeah,
killing that in a weekend.
that's a fucking lie. You can't kill Fairy Tale in a weekend.
And that's where I was like, I mean, maybe if you're doing cocaine or meth or something like that, but no, that like just straight up time. If you use all 48 hours to watch
Fairy Tale, you're not
Fairy
gonna get
Tale,
through it.
yeah, I mean, season one is about 100 episodes as far as I remember. So, I mean, that right there is 2,000 minutes. 2,000 minutes divided by 60. I mean, no, you ain't making it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, Fairy Tale was stupid long. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
wonder
kind of
who we're
interesting.
fighting. I think it might be Ymir.
Totally Berkel. Totally
Maybe even Aaron.
相手してやるか。
Berkel. It amuses me the fact that Aaron's like the one Titan that you never have to fight.
And he's also the most useless Titan.
立ててくれるか。
I mean, Berthold is A, Reiner is A, Annie is A. I mean, Ymir, I think, might be B, but I feel like that's a miscategorization in my book.
It is, because you know what? Well, from my experience, the funny thing about Ymir is, she I think is actually the fastest Titan.
Yeah, no, as far as dealing with bullshit is concerned, I feel like Ymir is... Sans Berthold, Ymir is the best.
Yeah, it would go Berthold, Ymir, and then the rest are just straight up garbage.
Like, literally.
That was my bad.
That's a bad Buddha. Bad Buddha.
I'm trying to clear out some of the dregs that were here. But yeah, it was my bad.
Oh, fuck me.
面白いやつ
I just used Levi on a little.
Kind of like the same thing with just watching movies, like trying to come up with my same top 5 or what have you anime is quite literally a stupid possibility. Like there are a chunk I thoroughly enjoy. I don't know how I would categorize them on that front. Like with you, I really like Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if it would be top 5. Thank you for smoking. I think that would be top 5. Very important.
Up in one of the
Man on fire.
bosses and fucking right off.
効くからね頼む
Yeah.
Whoa. I wasn't doing a boss or save. What were you doing?
I got over fucking whelmed by shit. I have Titans goddamn everywhere.
Ah, I was about to say, this is an amazing spot for Portal.
Yeah, but we don't have a real Bertolt. We have bullshit Bertolt.
We know.
お願いしますねあんたなら余裕だろう
わかったよ
無駄死には避けねば撤退する行ってくれ
これ以上は無理みたい
Yep, no, this is an absolute goddamn clusterfuck right now.
聞くかねほらやった
Oh, I'm going down. I'm going down. Oh, wait. I got grabbed twice. Good fuck me. Yeah, I am in the middle of holy, how the hell did you get me?
Players?
聞くかね
Or I'm awesome. Either one. And he's trying to Tuesday bug me. I am so glad that I have the mid-air medicine, whatever the fuck, because you know what? That is helpful right now.
Yeah, no, this is getting fucking nasty in a big fucking way.
やるしかねえだろ
Once was a virtual that came to me, but it was a victory one that really helped me. He put up his shield, went down, oh, low leg, virtual burn.
やってやるよ
No, no, leave me alone, Annie. I'm getting rid of your fucking thralls. Okay.
とかしねえとほらやった
Alright. I might be able to deal with this bitch now.
What? Another random. I think
I
after
got her!
I'm done with Lost Legion Pokemon.
Oh. Fucking hell.
After I'm done with Lost Legion Pokemon, I think I'm going to be I think I'm gonna go back to the Lightbringer series.
Well, fuck me, that was a fight.
Yeah, it was. When you lost.
Yeah, no, I lost that fight. I totally lost that
Alex
fight.
failed us all.
All right, let's nope out. See where we're at on the standings.
Okay, I was about to say the same thing. Actually, is back out. See where we're at this standing and see if we have to
Let's see if we have to fix anything.
earn or do a one more fight or two.
よ
Okay.
You're still at 8, I'm still at or you're still 2, I'm still 3. I mean, part of me is saying we should do one more just to be safe, but that's me being over paranoid after the whole capture fiasco with question mark question mark.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, we could do 2 more.
Yeah, one for you,
One
one for me.
for you and one for me. Yeah. I'm okay with that. If you got the time.
何か
No, no.
食い物は人類の未来
Ah, there we go.
Continue. Turn fragment. God damn it.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter what we do. It just needs to be multiplayer, huh?
Yeah, it just needs to be multiplayer. Well, it needs to be the PvP-esque.
Yeah, Annihilation, Predator, Expulsion, or Showdown.
Yeah. All works.
Do you have a preference?
No. I mean, I do pretty kick-ass on Predator. No, I don't. I'm assuming we're actually going to be trying on the first one, then the second one, the other person's going to just win, so.
Yeah. Annihilation mode it is.
Vampire D. Vampire Done Peel. That was another one that really made me like anime, but it was literally the Iria Zerum project. And I know I made you watch it once, and you're just like, this is dumb. And I'm like, fuck you, it's solid. Flick. A sister as stubborn as her brother.
I think this one is based off of your gear.
I think so too. But you're still gonna lose.
Well, yeah, if it fucking gives you that kind of fucking handy.
Doesn't really help when my first instinct is, oh, I better do something else. I had a Titan about halfway across the map decide that I was sexy, in which case I could not ignore said Titan.
Well, that was a fucking handy.
Two handies! Zonix is still well endowed and requires two.
聞くかねほらやったやったやるしかねえだろ立ててくれるか聞くかねやったほらやった
Equal, so nice. Internet points for everyone. I get the hand me. Fuck off. Yeah, and actually, popping back, Vampire Hunter D is actually one of the few anime movies that I actually enjoy because it's expanding upon a story instead of, oh, that story with, Naruto or whatever. Yeah, this is just a filler. Fuck fillers, like completely. I don't care about fillers. I want you to continue that story, and that's where I actually liked the Demon Slayer anime. They came out with a movie, and it literally continued the story. And I guess they understood that there was gonna be enough of an audience out there that never watched the movie. So I guess they turned the movie into episodes in the anime, or as a regular anime. I still haven't watched those, but it's on the list. But yeah, no, it's something that's caught my attention. Actually, the one thing that I really love about I really like when it comes to the Demon Hunter series is the fact that, like, they're, you have people with super abilities as far as the show, well, as far as this reality is concerned. And the superhero abilities is based on breathing techniques. And I found that fascinating.
that your ability to kick ass and take names is largely based off of breathing techniques?
Yeah, seriously. That you're like, obviously you know how to swing a sword or whatever, but the abilities is quite literally how you breathe. So you have water breathers, you have fire breathers, you have like all that shit. Or how you breathe and whatnot is kind of what is ultimately what determines your abilities and technique. And I just found that to be fascinating. Wow. You almost didn't have to do this to me. I'm straight up getting candies at the moment. No. Demon Hunter is actually another one of those that am going to have you be watching because it's actually really good.
Sorry, I'm just trying to stay just below you.
I'm sorry that I'm being not so effective.
Well,
Which is actually quite crazy because I've killed multiple, green exclamation points.
yeah, no, this one, the big, like my towers are just giving me points. Like the towers, I'm not killing anything. My towers are giving me points.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I've been putting down towers too. It just seems like I'm not getting any more green exclamation points.
No, you're not. And I'm actively avoiding killing things. I really am, I promise. I just put down a bunch of towers, and it turns out in this particular mode, towers aren't a bad idea.
I won one! So Onyx was sitting on his hands, trying to be as pathetic as possible. I won!
No, I mean, I had to stop about 90 seconds towards the end because I was making too many points.
Like I said, Onyx was sitting on his hands.
But it turns out a bunch of towers actually really helps in that particular mode.
Yeah, it's actually a fascinating. Like one of the things I was thinking about, um, one of the last times we did co-op, it's like, okay, the the goal, as it were, is too far away, so I should, um,
Wait, what am I seeing?
we're in first place. I don't know
Oh,
what you
I'm in
mean.
first place. Okay. It looked like
Yeah,
I wasn't in first. Okay.
it says J Gold because yeah,
Gotcha. I am
and then you have
Jacob.
Van Day and then Sage Buddha. So yeah.
So I'm 9, he's 8.
Yeah, you're 9, he's 8, I'm 8. Then you have Delta 6.
If you want to win another one, that'll give you second.
Yeah. No. Let's do it. I mean, I'm ultimately indifferent, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I should do this now, just because if I lose this, then next I have to wait one more week to just be able to finish that shit off.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that makes me want to make sure you have one more and I have one more to make sure we get 1 and 2. So I say we do 2 more. Next one, honest to God, competition, and then the other one gets a handy.
So I get a handy. Got it. No, that was actually. You shitting me? You know what? I'm not even gonna try. I've already lost.
No, you haven't.
No, I'm primary on the screen.
I mean, just because you're primary doesn't mean you lose. Just means I forgot
No,
to
I'm
change shit
just
back.
so you could look at it. I got grabbed by the Titan and I was unable to break, or I barely broke through it. Then I was grabbed again. And then apparently, finally, my back for the brink or whatever kicked in. So while I thought I was dead, the game was like, no, you get one free death. Oh, isn't that nice? And I wasn't getting one earlier, but you know what? Isn't that nice? And by the time I realized that, I got grabbed again. You know how random I wish I could, or I've been wanting to watch again for a while? Old movie called Surf Ninjas. Totes want to watch that again. But finding a copy has not been...
Honestly, I thought you were gonna say, I want to watch an old movie called Blazing Saddles.
I have a copy of that. If I want to, I can. Blazing Saddles, a movie that will not be able to be made for like 20 more years because headache people are in charge. You know, I don't know if you've seen anything based on it. I'm assuming you have. But there's this chick who is fairly high up and in like Disney cruise ship or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be called.
Yeah.
And And she's like, yeah, no, when I joined Disney, they're like, oh, be afraid because, you know, they have issues. And you know what? I don't have a hidden gay agenda. I straight up, like, I want to add gay agenda shit, and they're just like, oh, hell yeah. And she's saying this on a Zoom call. So, yeah, no, it's one of those little tidbits where you're sitting there and it's like I'm just kind of amusing it, like, right now. Don't get me wrong. Have I said a bunch of stuff that'll get us in trouble? Sure have. I will back up everything I've said. But there are still many things I'm not gonna be saying because the fallout is not worth it. So, hey, everyone who watches this, guess what? This is me censored. So, yeah, I have a gay agenda. No one's been fighting me. You have to be a Friday. I mean, I don't care that you're a Monday. I don't care that you happen to have a relationship with a Tuesday. You are so Friday to be able to be like, oh yeah, no, I have a gay agenda, and Disney doesn't care about it. Um, this is the worst time for you to be saying this. I mean, you have an entire segment of, I don't know, pedophiles being arrested, you know, for reasons. You now have your company having issues with, you know, the anti-grooming bill. I mean, don't say gay bill. I mean, um, yeah, you know, teachers should be able to do whatever they want with children. I mean, except for when we get in trouble, but beyond that, they should be able to do it.
Well, and there's also that other thing where, you know, Bill Gates' wife divorced him after she found out he went to Epstein's Island.
Oh, she knew.
Well, she may very well have known, but once it became public that she knew he went to Epstein, you know.
You have to think that's ultimately the same as the whole Will Smith bullshit debacle, where it's like, you know what? The world knows that she's banging other people. You know what? For a woman, yes. Seriously, Will Smith. You know what? I am an obese white male. Guess what? I don't want Will Smith's life. He is so pathetic at this point. It's actually depressing. Like, Will Smith is the epitome of what should be, and he's still a little bitch.
Yeah, it's like the epitome of beta at this point. He really is.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. But yeah, like, literally, and that's one of those terrifying aspects. It's like, this guy has millions of dollars. This guy is over 6 feet tall. This guy, I mean,
he's tall, dark, handsome, and a goddamn millionaire.
And he is famous. Like, he is literally everything. But you know what? I don't want to be him. I really don't. Like, would you want to smash your testicles? No. I mean, I can. No.
Yeah, no. Will Smith is. I do not want to be Will Smith right now.
No, he's straight up depressing at this point. And the amount of people trying to cover for him is just like, he's actually that was something I left on a just to self-expose again. That I found amusing was, it's like, you know what? People are talking about X, Y, and Z. Don't really care. Why is it anybody talking about how that is a show, a sign of toxic masculinity?
Because he did it for Jada Smith.
No, and well, the thing that I'm gonna grandstand for myself on is, you know what? It took a couple of days after me making my comment that all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, that was toxic masculinity. Either way, doesn't fucking matter. It's all bullshit. Oh, he did it for doesn't matter because there is they don't know what true, legit, accurate, whatever, any descriptive masculinity is always toxic. There is no modifier that is, oh, it is good masculinity because X.
Yeah.
Like, they cannot come up with a single thing because, as far as they're concerned, you're violent, that's toxic masculinity. You're allowing violence, you're or that's toxic masculinity. Like, it's the same thing that comes with, um, um, sex and gender. What is sex and gender? Well, sex or gender is a social construct. Sex is biology. Well, sex is a social construct, but gender is biology. They are playing on fat is skinny, skinny is fat so much that once you start pushing them on it, there is no answer. Actually, recently I was reading this comment that was like, hey, you know, there was this transgendered individual, uh, male to female, who told me, hey, never hook up with a feminist. And the guy put in the pronoun her. And the amount of people are leaving responses saying her, or it's he, it's him, it's whatever. And my brain is just sitting there like, you are stupid. Because, you know what? Recently, Caitlyn Jenner came out and said, you know what? Transgendered males should not be able to participate in female sports. And it sounds like you're going to be sitting there going, Caitlyn Jenner's a man. Doesn't fucking matter. That's not the purpose of this conversation. You should
Naturally.
take the win and run with it instead of it. No, that's a man. Um, yes, but fuck off at the same time. Like, part of my brain is thinking back to, you know, because I was born and raised Mormon, because, you know, I just have to keep saying that, is when it comes down to it, the fact is these people don't know how to, well, lacking better terms, proselytize. They need to understand how to convey their perspective. And being as dogmatic as they are, they're gonna be losing people that would wholeheartedly agree with them. But you know, whatever. You know, whatever. Yeah. So makes me hate people. Makes me want to hurt people. Well, to be fair, I hate people easily. Want to hurt people easily. So yeah, you know, it's why. But there was this one time. Don't care. Don't effing care.
Well, with that eloquent finality, um, we're going to be calling it a night. We got obviously some maintenance shit to take care of. Buddha's doing conversations in his dating sim, and I'm going to be doing the same. But we're done with missions, so we're going to go ahead and call it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back on Thursday with almost certainly more Attack on Titan. Maybe Icarus, maybe something else. Who knows?
You know, random note.
Mm.
I don't know what, where, why, and how, but it looks like when it comes to the infernal difficulty, just about everything's unlocked early because I'm now doing more. Oh no, no, that's not accurate. Because I've gone all the way up to, well, I've done like 2 missions beyond beating Annie and
I'm about to say
those
you're a bit
difficulties.
further along than I am.
I know, but it's just like where I am. Like, look, if you look at my screen,
I no,
Armin
you're
is.
primary. I'm watching you.
Yeah, Arm. Well, that's what I'm saying is Armin's in his.
He wants to go on a mission.
Yeah, well, it's more the clothing that is standing up for me, and the fact that I'm in Stos district. No, 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 fuck off it.
I really don't want to talk to you, Armin. All right. Well, in any case, we're gonna be
Yeah,
wrapping
we're
it up.
calling it. Thank you for watching on all that jazz.
Yep. And we hope to see you in the next one. We will be back on Thursday with more content. It will probably include Attack on Titan. It might include Icarus. It
It's
might.
Icarus and Attack on Titan. I mean, we're not rolling the dice on that yet.
All right, fair enough. I guess Don't Starve Together is getting punted till next week, but Don't Starve Together is coming, so
I mean,
it'll.
ultimately at this point, especially because now it's no longer uh real time dedicated. I mean, I guess we could do Don't Starve
Yeah,
together
that's the thing with
tomorrow
Icarus
or on
is
Thursday.
Icarus doesn't have to be. We don't have to finish missions every week. Um, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
new update.
and that's part of it is, when it comes down to Icarus, I mean, I've been more on the end of I mean, I enjoy, but I don't want to dedicate to anymore. So yeah, no, if we do Icarus like once a week or not again for a while, I'm good.
Yeah,
And I still disagree with the whole. They should have put it at a like a 2-tier system. There are those that want to um do or have the real time restrictions, and then there are those that are like, you know what? No, I don't want to do real time restrictions, which is fine. To each of their own.
yeah.
It is kind of. Sorry, this is random. Did you watch that a girlfriend's review of a
Yeah,
game?
yep, I did.
Ish. Sorry, I just brain farted. So I don't know if you've called it. So cut the stream. All is
No,
well.
I have not cut the stream. I am buying
Cut the
Colossal.
stream. All is well.
Thanks for watching. We
What
will
we
be
do is
back
what we
on
do.
Thursday with more
Enjoy.
shenanigans, one way or the other. And last words, Buddha. Nope, as eloquent as ever. We will
I
be
was about to
back.
say a bunch of things that would get us banned. So yeah, no. All is well. Enjoy. See you Thursday.
See you guys on
Because
Thursday.
if you're a Tuesday if you don't see us on Thursday.
It might be Friday if you don't see us on Thursday.
No, you're definitely Tuesday.
Good night. We're gonna call it. Have a good one, and I hope to see you soon.